televised.
I have no clue actually on that. I do not have any information on that.
Yeah, neither. I guess I can ask Manny Navarro, who's going to join us at 3:30. He's going to talk to us about that. Manny, who does an awesome job covering the Miami Hurricanes for the Athletics. So we're going to go through everything from the backup quarterback battle. I say backup quarterback battle because the starting quarterback has not been involved in spring practice. It's De'Ara King's job as soon as he's healthy. All indications are he's going to be healthy for the season opener. He should be a full go by fall camp, but still recovering from that ACL injury in January, so he has not been available for spring. And Tyler Van Dyke has really grabbed the bull by the horns and done a nice job to stake his claim to the backup job. And, he and Jake Garcia, I'm sure, will get a lot of time in the spring game on Saturday. So I'm really looking forward to talking about that. If you guys want to get in, share your infinite wisdom with us on the text line, 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. We got Marla on board on the text line. She always loved when I send a shout-out to the pink, black, gray, and white seats, which are soon to be occupied. I think we're going to have about, 6,000 for the season opener here this Sunday. That's going to be a lot of fun. I got to make sure to get here early. I got used to, when we were doing games last season, it was, empty stadium until the last two home games, and then it was 2,500 people allowed in. And, for most of the year when it was empty stadium, I could just, stroll in here, park wherever I wanted to, get here, a few minutes before we went on the air. This year, because we're starting off with about 30% capacity, and then, God willing, by some point in the summertime, we're going to be able to pack the house here. I'm going to have to get here a little bit early because it may take me a little time to park. I'm not talking to you, Siri. I don't know why. Does this ever happen to you, Tito, with your Apple Watch? Where sometimes
Quite the opposite, actually. My Siri doesn't listen to me.
Really? My Siri listens to me too much. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, because I wake up around 7, and when I set 8 or 9 alarms, and
really?
because I don't trust myself to wake up on the first 2. No shot. And so when I'm showering, I hear my other alarms going off, and this is a practice that I do, which I scream, "Siri, stop," and nothing, just nothing. Siri doesn't even know I'm there.
Jesus.
Siri's not there. That's for sure.
My Siri's in love with me. Do you ever see the movie with Joaquin Phoenix where he fell in love with Siri?
Is it her, right?
Her.
Yeah. I mean, look, if there's somebody who's there, it's Alexa. All right, Alexa hears me.
That's your side piece right there, Alexa. Does Veronica know about Alexa?
Yeah, Veronica doesn't like when Alexa and I get too chatty. I'll be like, Alexa, thank you, and she's like, why do you feel the need to thank it? I'm like, well, look, when these computers take over, they're gonna keep track of who said thank you and who didn't, and I'm gonna be on the good side. Okay, maybe they let me live a little longer.
Yeah, you think if Skynet becomes a real thing, do you think they might spare people who are pro computer, right? The people who are oh, we can't let the machines take over. They're all going to be wiped off the face of the earth. But somebody like Tito, who is in love with Alexa, and me, I've got a relationship going on with Siri. We might get spared, man. We might get spared.
Yeah, you guys are just setting yourselves up for disappointment there.
Are we live on YouTube yet, Tito?
Yes, we are.
All right, cool. I'm going to log in there in a second. So in addition to, of course, you can listen to us all the usual spots, onsideradio.com. You can listen to us live on our website 24 hours a day. And if you go to our website, you'll see on the right-hand side of the page all of the different mobile apps that you can download for free. All the mobile apps are free. I was listening on the Simple Radio app in the car on the way up here today. There are 6 different free mobile apps where you can listen, download them, search OnSide Radio, make us your favorite station. And if you're stationary somewhere, you're at home, you're at the office, you're at the home office, you're able to watch some video and chat with us as well, you can go to YouTube or to Twitch. I'm not usually active on Twitch during the show. I am active on YouTube during the show. I partake in the chat. So if you go to YouTube, just search OnSide Radio, hit the Watch Now button. You'll see the live show. There's going to be a little red Watch Now button. Get in there and make sure when you're in there, you smash the like button. You smash the thumbs up. And, you can chat with me. You can chat with each other. And every single day, a topic from the live chat turns into a topic on the show. We're really interactive with that. made it a little bit tougher last night than they should have. I predicted yesterday before the Panthers took on the Dallas Stars, I predicted a comfortable 4-1 style victory. They made me sweat it out, man. They ended up, giving up a game-tying goal. They won the game 3-2 in overtime, but the W is the W. And the Panthers, just like that, are tied now in a 3-way tie in points for first place in the division again. It's going to be a dogfight. It is going to be a 3-way battle royale dogfight between the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Florida Panthers. You guys know my opinion on the pecking order in the division. I love my Panthers. I'm bullish on my Panthers. I really admire what Bill Zito has done turning this roster around. I still personally feel that Florida, they're not quite at the same level as the Tampa Bay Lightning, and they're not quite at the same level as Carolina. If you were to meet either of those teams in a 7-game series, and if you're going to get through the Eastern Conference, your chances are you're going to have to meet one, if not both of those teams in a 7-game series at some point. I don't believe Florida are quite on the same level as those teams. That's why it's so important to win the division, whether you deserve it or not, right? Just be better for the rest of the regular season than those teams, because if you win the division, you take on the 4th place team, and there's a huge drop-off from 3rd to 4th place. If you don't win the division, if you come in 2nd or 3rd, and the Panthers can't really do any worse than 3rd place, but the 2nd and 3rd place teams play each other in the first round of the playoffs. So if you come in 2nd or 3rd place, you're going to have to face either Carolina or Tampa Bay in the first round. And if we're looking to put together a little playoff run to get at least one, series through, you got a much better chance if you don't have to face either Tampa or Carolina. So I think winning the division is really important. What a performance by Chris Driedger in net. He made that save, guys. Hopefully you've seen the highlight by now. I retweeted it today for those who haven't seen it. I can only describe what Chris Driedger did last night as a yoga-style save on a puck that actually deflected off the skate of a Panther, Anton Strawman. It deflected off Anton Strawman, and the puck was trickling over the goal line, and Chris Driedger got into full stretch and was able to stop the puck when it was like 60% over the goal line. But for a goal to count, the puck has to completely clear the goal lines. It was a photo finish, and it was a ridiculous save. And, guys, had that puck gone in, that's more than likely the game-winning goal for Dallas. That happened, I think there was like 9.5 minutes left in the third period with the game tied at 2, so that likely would have gone down, would have been 3-2, likely would have been the game winner for Dallas. Instead, the Panthers were able to get it into overtime. They're able to get on the power play. And is anyone more clutch in this town right now than Frank Vetrano? Frank the Tank. Frank the Tank. We're going streaking. Frank Vetrano gets the game-winning power play goal on a laser beam of a shot in the overtime to give the Panthers the 3-2 OT victory. Frank Vetrano has a team-leading 5 game-winning goals on the year. 5 game-winning goals. And that doesn't count all of the critical game-tying goals that he's had throughout the season. Nobody's more clutch than Frank Vetrano. And they're starting to call him Mr. Clutch, and it's well-deserved. He said, I love scoring goals. It's nice to be put in some of those opportunities sometimes. It's just luck of the draw, he says, with me putting them in at the right times right now. I'll take it when I can get them. So very humble by Frank Vetrano. He could have easily said, yeah, you know what, I've got ice in my veins. I just have a knack for scoring game-deciding, game-winning goals. Instead, he took the humble road, and I can respect that. But I don't think it's a coincidence how clutch that he's been this year. So Frank Vetrano, that was vintage stuff. It was beautiful. He gets the Panthers the overtime 1-goal victory, and he puts the Cats back in a 3-way tie for the division. Meanwhile, in Phoenix, Tito, I'm so glad that I gamble a little bit with the late-night games, okay? And I'm not talking about gambling like sports betting. I gamble with my time and my sleep, right? When the Heat are playing 10 p.m. games, I have to make a business decision, all right? Because no matter how late I stay up, I've got to wake up pretty early in the morning to deal with my energetic 3-year-old. On Sunday night, I actually decided to stay up for the full affair between the Heat and the Portland Trailblazers. And that turned out to be an excellent decision. They won the game comfortably. Last night, I'm always a little bit conscious of, hey, like I wonder if I'm going to get, because I had my my first dose of Pfizer on Monday, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I should get some extra sleep in case, I get some side effects. I've been pretty good. I don't have a sore arm. I've been maybe a little bit tired, but I can't tell if I'm tired just because I'm not sleeping enough or if I'm tired because of the vaccine. I have no idea. But I made the decision, Tito, to hit the bed around, 11:15 last night, and it turned out to be an excellent decision. The Heat were obliterated by the Phoenix Suns bench. I mean, that was ridiculous, Tito. 65 bench points for the Phoenix Suns compared to just 24 for the Miami Heat. And I'm sure, when I was watching back the game this morning, and I'm kind of skimming through it through the DVR on the replay, and I see Jimmy Butler go down early in the fourth quarter, my heart stopped a little bit. But you know what Jimmy Butler did? He's a man's freaking man. Jimmy Butler actually came back in and finished the game. If Victor Oladipo had rolled his ankle the same way that Jimmy Butler did, the guy would be out for the rest of the season. Thank you, Jimmy. And I know, I heard Ira and Big O talking about it, and Ira was questioning, why did Jimmy even come back into a game that wasn't close? Maybe Jimmy wants to set the example, right? Maybe Jimmy wants to show his teammates this is what leaders do. That, hey, I rolled my ankle, I'm in a little bit of discomfort, but I'm healthy enough to get back out there and play, and I'm going to play. Meanwhile, this Victor Oladipo, I should have known something wasn't right when he skipped the first two games after the trade deadline because he had a little bit of a head cold. He skips the first two games. And now Victor Oladipo may not play again this year for a right knee where the x-ray was negative. The MRI shows no structural damage. My knees are in pristine condition, okay? I haven't been jogging since 2009. If I were to go this evening down to Baptist Hospital and I get an x-ray and I get an MRI, I'm going to have the same results that Victor Oladipo got, pristine condition. And yet, oh, no, maybe my knee's in a little bit of discomfort. I don't know if I want to play again this year. Refresh my memory. I honestly don't know. This is not a rhetorical question. How much money is Victor Oladipo making this season?
It's like $7 million, something like that.
So just seven mil just to decide, I may have an owie, so I don't want to play, for the next several weeks perhaps. I don't know when I'm going to play again. I feel like maybe something might have happened to my right knee, even though the x-rays are negative. Nothing showed up on the MRI. I'm good, but I've got a little psychological issue because, 2 years ago I had an injury with this knee. So, yeah, I don't care what the x-ray says. I don't care what the MRI says. I feel a little bit of discomfort, so I don't want to show up for work tonight. We need this guy. We need Oladipo, and still a worthwhile gamble for the Heat. The Heat gave up nothing for Victor Oladipo. I don't regret it. I don't think Riley made a mistake. I'm not saying that. But you're damn sure when Riley acquired Victor Oladipo, who's really on an audition for a long-term deal, Riley wasn't expecting 2 games missed for a head cold and then maybe, the rest of the season missed for an imaginary knee injury. I'm not a fan of this. 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. How about this? Ray, he's first in on the YouTube chat for the first time. Howdy, Dono, he says. Howdy, Ray. Howdy, sir. We have a lot planned for today. Remember, later this hour, we're going to talk with Manny Navarro from The Athletic. We're going to talk some Miami Hurricanes with him. We're going to talk plenty of Dolphins throughout the show today. By the way, the Miami Heat are in a stretch of 8 games in 12 nights. This is not looking very good. This is really not looking good. Where are they at tonight? Dallas? In Dallas
No,
tonight?
Denver.
Denver. I'm sorry. I always get Denver and Dallas mixed up. I'd actually rather be in Dallas tonight than Denver, if we're being honest. They play at altitude tonight. Oh, man. There's an update on the Deshaun Watson case today. Gamble by Deshaun's lawyer, I think, has backfired. I will explain what I mean when we come back. Hey, Sundays, OnSideRadio.com continues to provide you the kind of sports talk South Florida fans desire. Every Sunday at 7 a.m., tune in to the Sunday Sports Drop with Jazz Santana. Catch Jazz every week as he takes your calls and discusses the biggest stories in sports. That's the Sunday Sports Drop, 7 to 9 a.m., exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dano. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. Listen to OnSideRadio.com anywhere by downloading the MyTuner Radio app in your app store. Or go to MyTunerRadio.com on your web browser. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida sports leader.
Hello, Inter Miami CF fans. Download the Drink AR app and play inside a first-of-its-kind virtual soccer stadium, hosted by Bodega Trevento and Inter Miami CF, and celebrate your passion for soccer from the comfort of your own home. Find the download links on our Instagram account at Treventus and get our wines delivered straight to your home with a discount for all Inter Miami CF fans. Discover Trevento, a shared passion.
Let's raise a cup to the first among us who put themselves last. To the risk takers, the mask makers, the heroes on the front line and online. To the ones keeping shelves full and keeping us hopeful. To those who don't stop and those making all the stops. To the ones who pick up, suit up, and never let us down. From all of us at Duncan to all the heroes keeping everyone running, we thank you.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental disorder that requires a comprehensive approach to treatment. Learn more at moretoadhd.com. This message brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
With Make-A-Wish, the impossible becomes possible. A girl battling cancer can become a race car driver battling the course. The boy showing all the nurses his fire trucks can take the helm of a real one. Wishes can give kids with critical illnesses the strength to keep fighting, get better, and grow up.
Where there's a wish, there's a way.
Wishes need you. Visit Make-A-Wish at wish.org.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dano. You can reach out anytime on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
So we got 2 Champions League games in progress, and you bet your ass I bet on both of them. All right, I've got actually I sprinkled some cash on 2 different bets in the Real Madrid-Liverpool game. I don't trust Liverpool. Sorry, toast. But I've got a few. They're both big in the plus money, so I've got some money on a draw, and I've got some money on Real Madrid. I would actually profit most if it's a draw, because that was, I think, plus 295 odds compared to like plus 250 or something like that. So I would do better with a draw. But either way, like the only way that I lose is if Liverpool win the game. I don't care who advances, but and Real Madrid have the big advantage, 3-1 on aggregate. But it doesn't matter to my bet who advances. It just matters who wins this game. So I need either a Real Madrid victory or a draw. And then on the Man City Dortmund game, I bet minus 155 on the Man City money line. And your guys are mud so far, right, Tito? Down 1-0 to Dortmund, is that right?
This is all too familiar as a City fan. Yeah,
God.
classic fraudulent behavior.
Well,
but-
you come into this one 2-0 on aggregate, right? So you're still
No, 2-1.
Oh, 2-1.
Yeah, so I think they would technically be ahead, correct?
Ooh.
Yeah, so this is scary Terry hours.
Okay. So make sure you close. Make sure you get a 2-1 or a 3-1 victory. And did you bet on City as well?
I did.
That might be the issue. You might have mushed them.
Yeah.
I don't really
bet
bet on my own teams.
That's right. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Thanks for going in and mushing this game. So, yeah, we're keeping our eyes on this. They're both around the 25th minute right now. They started simultaneously. I was reading an interesting piece on Yahoo Sports on the latest in the Deshaun Watson case. The attorney for the accusers, Tony Busby, has responded to Rusty Hardin. That's the attorney for Deshaun Watson. Rusty Hardin screwed the pooch. Like, I really think he effed up this case. Like, Hardin was so gung-ho about, these accusers have to reveal themselves. They've got to say their names, that they're using anonymity as a sword. They have to say their names. He was playing a game of chicken. He was bluffing, and now the accusers have called his bluff because what he was looking for, Rusty Hardin, was his thinking was, if we demand the names of the accusers and they're not allowed to stay anonymous anymore, if we can now, get the Houston courts to demand that they reveal themselves, what he was expecting to happen was most of them are going to drop the lawsuit because they're not going to want to go public. That was Hardin's thinking. Hardin's thinking was, the best thing I can do here for Deshaun Watson is to get a couple dozen of these women, if not more, to decide, like, hey, I'm okay accusing this guy because I'm trying to get some money out of this. This is not me talking. This is Rusty Hardin's thinking that, hey, that they're trying, that they're trying a money grab, and then if we demand their identities, they're going to back out because they're going to want to remain anonymous. That was his gamble. He's losing. It's finito. Finished. This is not looking good for him. So Tony Busby, the lawyer for the accusers, has said all of the accusers in the sexual assault case against the Houston Texans quarterback are willing to identify themselves. That's really bad for Watson's team. You were better off when they were anonymous, because when they were anonymous, at least then you had a chance that the court of public opinion, because remember, this is a civil trial, not a criminal trial, you were thinking, hey, if they remain anonymous, this is going to look like it's a money grab because they won't even reveal themselves. Now they're actually coming forward, and more of them are putting their names on it. There's a quote from Busby. The Watson team thinks that if these women are forced to identify themselves, they would slink away and not pursue this matter. Watson and his counsel badly miscalculated. There was one that did drop her case. One of Watson's 22 accusers reportedly dropped her case against him this week, according to Tom Pelissero from NFL Network. And we don't know why. Is it possible that there was some kind of a settlement made behind the scenes? Sure. Is it possible that she decided she didn't want to go through the scrutiny or the shame of having her name in public? Yeah, it could be anything. What else? Hardin said, the attorney for Watson said, quote, "We believe we have names for 20 of the 22 lawsuits. We've got one dismissed, and we're looking for one name," he said. Judges ruled last week 14 of Watson's accusers needed to reveal their identities in court filings, allowing Watson's attorneys to respond and defend their client, Pelissero added. Quote, "The women's attorney, Tony Busby, said all 22 plan to do so. 20 have so far, and one chose to dismiss her claim. The NFL is investigating claims into Watson after a series of sexual assault allegations were made against him last month and have since increased in number. NFL Network's Ian Rappaport says Watson's playing future is unsteady at the moment, considering the seriousness of the situation. I'm going to say 99% chance he doesn't play this coming season. He's not going to play in 2021. People are asking, why has he not been placed on the commissioner's exempt list? I think he will. The reason why it's not happened to this point is they've never placed somebody on the exempt list during the offseason before. It's only ever been done in season. It's unprecedented. Now, this situation is getting to be such a high-profile public case that the NFL, I think, is soon, within the next couple of weeks, I think they're going to feel like enough enough like external noise that they're going to say, hey, even though the season doesn't actually start for, another 5 months, we should place him on the commissioner's exempt list just so we can show people we see what's happening, right? Because the NFL made one statement about it, but, the bigger statement on their part would be to actually do something, and that's place him on the exempt list. They haven't done it yet. I think it's going to get done, and I don't think he's going to play in 2021, if we're being honest. Maybe by 2022 he can have, either paid his debt to society or have cleared his name by that point, but I don't think that's going to happen by 2021. All right, we're going to talk some Canes. Got some Canes over here. Whoosh, whoosh. Talk some Miami Hurricanes with Manny Navarro from The Athletic when we come back here on OnSide Radio. Hey, Miami Dolphins fans, join us for OnSideRadio.com's NFL Draft Party at Sports Grill in Miami, 11481 Southwest 40th Street in Bird Road. Join Big O and me for this 2-night event starting on Thursday, April 29th at 7:30 p.m., and then Friday, day 2, at 6:30 p.m. Drink and food specials, giveaways, and the best damn draft party in South Florida. Join us for a 2-night event as OnSideRadio.com and Sports Grill and Bird Road bring you the best NFL draft party on the planet.
We'll be right back to the man of the match with Alex Dano. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. OnSide Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Listen to every Inter-Miami CF match on your home for La Rosa Negra, OnSideRadio.com. Catch us every day on the MyTuner Radio app. If you missed OnSide Zone with Big O, you missed.
The 25-year-old was reportedly arrested this past week near Vail, where a sheriff's deputy said he saw Camargo's car speeding and changing lanes erratically, which is always really smart. When you're carrying a lot of drugs, you want to speed, you want to swerve, you want to look like you're drunk and high and all that. You want to cause as much attention. You want to bring as much attention to you when you're carrying a load of drugs. That's just the tip for you, thieves out there, you drug dealers, you criminals. Bring all the attention possible to you while you're committing a crime. It's really, really smart.
The OnSide Zone with Big O, only on OnSideRadio.com.
Join the Inter-Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
Parents, we know we can't protect our kids from everything. Eventually, they're going to bump their heads or scrape their knees. But we can protect them from 6 types of cancer. HPV, or human papillomavirus, is a common, preventable virus that can cause cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine prevents human papillomavirus and all the cancers it can cause. The American Cancer Society recommends getting your sons and daughters the HPV vaccine starting at age 9 to protect them later in life.
He has an overbite that makes him look like a cartoon character, a slightly crooked eye, and an uncommonly wrinkly neck. In the right light, he can look a little like a garden gnome, and he'll wear a bow tie just because. Sure, you might call him a little quirky, but that's exactly what makes him so perfect. Tuna is a 3-year-old Chihuahua Dachshund mix with more than 700,000 followers on Instagram, and it all started because he was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Tuna, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
2 Champions League matches currently going on. Liverpool and Real Madrid knotted up at 0-0, 33rd minute there. And in the other match, City going up against Dortmund. Dortmund with an early 1-0 lead over City. Aggregate tied up at 2 apiece. Right now, Dortmund would advance ahead of City. Miami Marlins make it 3 in a row after beating the Atlanta Braves 14-8. Adam Duvall with a night against his former team, 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. Game 3 of the match is tonight. Nick Neidert on the mound for the Fish. First pitch is set for 7:20. Florida Panthers defeating the Dallas Stars 3-2 in overtime. Friend of the tank for Toronto with the game-winning goal in overtime. Next game for the Panthers is Thursday. Puck drop set for 7 p.m. They take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's your On-Site Sports Update. I'm Tito Bonacci. Coming up next, it's more of the Man of the Match with Alex Dono right here, OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can reach out anytime on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
It's going to be a busy sports weekend coming up, and that includes the University of Miami spring game. Haven't had a spring game in a few years. I mean, last year's was canceled due to the pandemic. The year prior, they held a closed scrimmage instead of a spring game. So it's been 3 years since the University of Miami had a proper spring game. Who better to talk about that with than our good friend Manny Navarro, Hurricanes beat writer from The Athletic. Good afternoon, Manny. How you been, sir?
I'm doing great, Alex. How are you?
I'm doing very well. And Manny, before we get into some of the ins and outs of spring, I know that there's some disappointment from a lot of folks, with the spring game. It's going to be televised live, but it's going to be on ACC Network that a lot of people still don't get. When ACC Network launched a couple seasons ago, I thought, it's probably only like a matter of weeks before they strike some kind of a deal with Xfinity, and we're like 2.5 years later, and they still haven't struck a deal. Like, is there any update on that? Because I'm lucky. I'm a DirecTV subscriber, so I've had ACC Network all along, but a lot of people have been shut out on that.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. I haven't heard anything new. Barry Jackson does a great job for the Miami Herald as far as keeping track of all the TV goings and so forth. And when I talk to people from the ACC, I've just been told, well, they got to work it out with Xfinity. Xfinity, more people have to write and sort of complain to Xfinity and tell them to get on with this. But there's no real urgency from what I've gathered. I just sense that, you may have to switch cable providers because it doesn't look like anything's changing here in the near future.
Yeah, my parents did that. Like they love the U so much that last year they just got tired of not being able to watch all the games, so they switched for that reason. So I know it's not an ideal thing, but it has been done before by members of my own family. So I mean, how important is it for you and the beat writers to actually be able to watch the Canes this Saturday? Because with the pandemic and things at University of Miami, even in normal years, they keep everything pretty close to the vest. But there's been, even less access this year than normal. So, how important is it for you to actually watch things, on the field in person? Because we've been relying a lot during spring on just, Manny Diaz quotes and player availabilities. We finally get to watch it this weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be nice just to get a chance to get our own eyes on things. Obviously, I don't expect them to show us much of anything at all because the game is being televised, and the fact that Alabama will get a look into what Miami's roster looks like.
Well, I hope Nick Saban has Xfinity. Maybe he can't watch it.
Well, I think even if he did, I don't think we're going to see a whole lot. Most of these spring games, unfortunately, they really don't show you much. That's why you heard about the trick play, right, in the second scrimmage where I guess Charleston Rambo got open deep for a touchdown. We're not going to see any of that stuff. This is going to be not even French vanilla. It's just going to be like regular vanilla offense on Saturday. I just think from a being able to physically see guys, see where they line up. There's some guys that have been sort of experimenting at different positions, being moved around this spring. Guys going from safety to striker to weak side linebacker, that kind of stuff. Where guys get some run is more than anything what's going to be of value to me. To see where guys get snaps. But in terms of excitement, I wouldn't get too jacked up as if we're going to see some tremendous show. In fact, I've even been told there probably a few guys that they want to make sure don't get hurt or might be battling injuries and so forth, that they keep out of something like this, which is what they normally do anyway when it comes to scrimmages. They'll hold guys out that they don't want to put at risk. So, I think just from a Miami fan perspective, if you do have the ACC network, just enjoy the fact that you get to watch football. Just enjoy the fact that you'll actually be able to see these guys with your own eyes and not need somebody else to tell you what's going on.
Well, and I'm hoping, we do get a good look at Tyler Van Dyke, because all signs point to him just having an awesome spring, Manny. And I'm really happy for Tyler, because I felt like, when Miami got the commit from Jake Garcia a few months back, and I'm excited for Jake, of course, as well. But, a lot of the attention from Canes fans just got focused on Jake, because he was, the more highly recruited guy out of high school. And like, oh, no, this is our quarterback. And then I feel like Tyler Van Dyke probably thought, oh, I'm going to remind these fans that I'm here, and I'm going to show them how good I can be. So it sounded to me like he's had an awesome spring. Do you get the same sense?
Yeah, I think that more than anything, he's shown that he belongs in college football. Like he's got the skills and the accuracy to be an elite quarterback at this level. Like just from a raw perspective, ingredient perspective, he's got all of that. Obviously, he still has a long way to go with learning the offense, learning reads and so forth. But I think more than anything, Jake Garcia has shown you in this camp that he's ready to compete with Tyler Van Dyke for that starting job next year. And as a Miami fan, that's exciting to know. It's exciting to know that quarterback position finally has the level of talent and ability that you wanted to see out of it. I think, the last couple years, the last 15 or so years, you've had one quarterback drafted, right? Brad Kaya. Now all of a sudden, D'Eriq King comes here. He breathes new life into this Rhett Lashley offense. And then the guys that they recruit to play in it are two legitimate guys that have all the skills that you want to see in a quarterback. And so I think Miami's quarterback position is in a great place. I also think that if Miami has as good a season as it wants to, it's probably going to be looking for a new offensive coordinator next year, which, again, you can't hold on to nice things, right? That's the way this game works. You can't keep quarterbacks for a long time. You can't keep coordinators for a long time if they're really, really good. But that's a good problem to have. And I think as far as this coming season and the future is concerned, with both of those guys, Jake Garcia and Tyler Van Dyke, you feel really good about Miami's future the next 2 or 3 years.
Is it your expectation that D'Eriq King will be ready for the opener?
Yeah, I do. I don't think there's going to be any serious issues. A lot of these athletes now, they come back from these injuries a lot faster than they used to. You used to hear ACL and think, oh, he's gone for a year. Right? Yeah. We're not going to see him. This is December. D'Eriq King is not that kind of guy. First of all, just from a rehab perspective, he's gonna be a guy who kills himself out there to get back on the field. He's not lazy. He's not any of those other words. So I think that part of it, you're going to see the effort from him. The only thing could be if he has an injury, right? If he has a setback where he tweaks something and they come back and he tries to rush himself back too fast. We know this. He hasn't really thrown and done any 7-on-7 work. I mean, he's played catch with guys off to the side here during camp, but he hasn't, gone out there and done any 7-on-7 work. They're hoping that May, June, July, that time period is when he'll get back on the field and get cleared to do that kind of stuff. And once he does, it's just a matter of chemistry, right? Charleston Rambo, Romello Brinson, all the new receivers that they're going to have. He needs to play catch with those guys and develop that sort of chemistry. But I think September 4th against Alabama, it'll be D'Eriq King at quarterback.
Who or what are you looking forward to watching most in the spring game? And I'll preface it by saying that, I think it goes without saying that everybody staying healthy and no injuries is the most important thing. But outside of that, is there any one or any unit that you're looking forward to watching most?
Yeah, I always look at the offensive and defensive line. And part of it is when you go very vanilla with the play calls, it really comes down to physicality, right? It comes down to athleticism and physicality. Can you beat a man physically one-on-one? You're not using any sort of scheme to scheme your way past them. And so I'm going to be looking at guys like John Ford and Jared Harrison Hunt and Jordan Miller at defensive tackle. I'm going to be looking at Navon Donaldson. I'm going to be looking at Ja'Kai Clark, Jalen Rivers, Corey Gaynor, all the guys in the middle of that defense, because to me, that's the problem when you play Alabama every year, right? They're so physically gifted up front. They get 5-star defensive tackles, 5-star guards, 5-star offensive tackles, and to me, I want to see, can Miami win in those interior parts of the offensive line? Is Navon Donaldson really as great as we've heard everything about him being this spring? How he's lost weight, how physical he is. Is he going to push John Ford back 20 yards? You know, those kind of things physically. Does Miami have what it takes in those front lines to beat Alabama? And so I want to see where they are with that. And I would say also the pass rush. You know, Manny Diaz, you know, these short little videos we get from Miami where they give us, you know, recaps. He hasn't mentioned the word sack once. I don't know if you've noticed that.
That's I actually hadn't noticed that. That's interesting.
He didn't, right, and obviously you're losing Jalen Phillips. You know, you're losing Quincy Roche off of last year's team, your two best pass rushers. And we've heard nothing about Jafari Harvey. We've heard nothing. And I know Nesta Silvera is out and all that, and that you know, is going to affect the way that you play. He's one of your best defensive tackles. But to me, it's just interesting. We haven't heard the word sack once. So Let's see that pass rush. That's such an important part of this Manny Diaz defense. Do these guys create negative plays? And if the offensive line is dominating and playing really, really well, you feel good because, hey, this is your offensive line taking that step forward. But I also want to see a pass rush in some way, shape, or form. I want to see somebody get to the quarterback.
Well said. We're joined here by Manny Navarro from The Athletic. Do you think it's a good thing that Manny Diaz has taken play calling and he's taken back defensive coordinator duties, or do you really worry that for a head coach he's taken on too many responsibilities?
Well, you know, it's a tough question to answer. I'll tell you this. We really haven't heard about any coach that wins the national championship or gets to the national championship who also calls defensive plays, right? We really don't hear that.
Right.
You know, it's one of those deals where if you're a championship-winning program, the head coach is able to delegate those responsibilities to others. You know, even the great offensive coaches who take on dual roles, you know, the Mike Leaches of the world, they don't win big. There's not like, you know, guys that all of a sudden, I guess Lincoln Riley might be the one guy who you say, well, at least he's gotten his team to the playoff a couple of times as a play caller. But to me, like, teams that win have coordinators. They've got great assistant coaches. They've got the whole thing. And if you're a Miami fan, that's what you want to see. I think Manny Diaz took on this responsibility in part because maybe he couldn't find the right guy this offseason. Maybe he was looking and looking for a good marriage and just wasn't able to find it. And if he does it for 1 year and this defense turns around and plays a lot better and then he hands it off to somebody else, then you know what? You live with that. But if Manny Diaz says, no, this defense, I've got to run it from now on, I don't get the sense that great things are going to happen because it hasn't happened with other coaches. It just hasn't. You know, they delegate, they count on their coordinators, and they win with other coordinators.
Oh, really well said. And everyone, you want to make sure you follow this man at Manny_Navarro on Twitter. Check out his work in The Athletic. And, of course, make sure you're following his tweets and all of his thoughts during the spring game on Saturday, 11 a.m. Manny, thank you so much for taking the time. Have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, Alex. Take care, buddy.
Good stuff there as always from Manny Navarro. And, God, maybe I'm stupid, but Tito, he brought up such a great point that for all of Manny Diaz's recaps from the practices and scrimmage so far, he's right. You haven't ever seen or heard him say the word sack. And that's a little bit disturbing considering, you're losing your best two defensive ends from last year. And, I know technically – Greg, you already lost Greg Rousseau the year before because he opted out for this year. But you're losing your top defensive ends. You would like to think that a guy like Jafari Harvey is going to be picking up some of that slack, and maybe he is, and I hope he will. But not having heard the word sack yet to this point is a little bit concerning. No.
Yes. I mean, I'll say this. This is probably Manny's most unproven crop of defensive linemen that he's had yet, right?
Yeah.
Like there is no 5-star transfer in the fold. DeAndre Johnson from Tennessee is supposed to be a pretty productive player. I know he was dealing with an injury, but without question, this is going to have to be Manny's, I guess, crown jewel in terms of being able to get this defensive line to have a high sack and pressure rate on the quarterback. And I'll say this, bringing Jess Simpson back,
I love that move.
Right. And apparently within the staff, they thought his coaching, his technique mattered, and his win rate for defensive linemen while he was the coach was at its highest level. So it's going to be interesting to see how Jess Simpson can get the most out of this unit, especially with Manny.
Well said. 844-416-8123. So there's more heat on controversial Justin Fields takes, and this time Chris Mortensen is getting some backlash. We'll tell you about that when we come back. We'll wrap up the 3 o'clock hour here on OnSide Radio. We would like to offer a huge thank you to A Shade Above Window Fashions in Davie. A Shade Above teamed up with Bandalux to personalize and create the OnSide Radio shade in beautiful pink and black. I mean, it fits perfectly here at Drive Pink Stadium. I get to look at this wonderful pink and black shade, and I can still see through the shade. I can see the pink, black, gray, and white seat, so it's perfect. To order protection with style for your home or office like we did, call A Shade Above Window Fashions, 954-434-4774. Go to their website, ashadeaboveflorida.com. Love the space you live in, A Shade Above Window Fashions.
We'll be right back to the man of the match with Alex Dano. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnSideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
For over 20 years, Mr. Glass has been committed to the safety and satisfaction of our clients. Our products are the culmination of innovative engineering, aesthetic appeal, and the highest levels of quality. Through our legacy, Mr. Glass strives to impart the true meaning of quality, service, and sustainability to new generations. Reputation, experience, and trust is why clients choose Mr. Glass. Live the future now. Locate a dealer near you today.
At Baptist Health, we are ready
to serve, to treat,
to safely proceed with your procedure.
We're ready for ER visits and office visits with skilled surgeons,
advanced medicine,
and multidisciplinary teams.
We're ready for new arrivals
and new recoveries.
We are ready.
We're ready to diagnose, treat, and manage
anything that comes our way
with exceptional care and comfort.
With the same preparedness and compassion you've come to expect from Baptist Health.
And we are ready.
We're ready.
We're ready
to care for you.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger.
He was a captain and Ginger. Captain and Ginger. He was a captain and Ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Every Thursday, NBA fans can catch one of the best basketball shows in the country when Ethan Skolnick and Ira Winderman host Inside the Paint. Listen to two of the most knowledgeable and connected reporters in the business. Get year-round insight every Thursday at 10:30 a.m. with Inside the Paint on the home for hardcore basketball fans. OnSideRadio.com.
Big O for M&S Air Conditioning. You know, air quality in your home and business is more important than ever. That's why you've got to call M&S Air Conditioning and let them install a high-efficiency polarized air filter in your AC unit. Folks, it attracts, captures, and destroys biological contaminants to improve your air quality. With stellar customer service, answering your call from 7:30 a.m. till 9 o'clock p.m. For more info on high-efficiency air filters and their preventative maintenance plans, visit M&S Air Conditioning at ac-florida.com.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
Big news, Miami fans! Body Armor is proud to be the new official sports drink of Major League Soccer and Inter Miami CF. It doesn't matter if you're a player or a fan, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you with potassium-packed electrolytes, antioxidants, and no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or dyes. Whether you're at home or in the starting lineup, Body Armor sports drink will hydrate you from kickoff to the final whistle. Body Armor, now the official sports drink of Inter Miami CF, available at your local Publix.
You're listening to the only sports station in South Florida that likes to take your calls. 888-441-4623. We connect with a South Florida sports fan because we are South Florida. Locally owned and operated. 888-441-4623. OnSideRadio.com. South Florida's home for real sports talk. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can reach out anytime on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, I've heard the last couple days from so many conspiracy theorists who are warning me after I revealed that I had my first dose of the vaccine. The globalists are out to get me, Tito. I want these conspiracy theorists to focus your attention on what's going on with Justin Fields. Like, let's focus our energy on that, because there seems to be this weird deep state agenda to discredit Justin Fields before the draft. I don't know, like, is Bill Belichick trying to get him, and so he's instructing all of his friends at ESPN to tear this guy apart? This is a really odd take on Justin Fields, and it comes from a guy I really like. I have a lot of respect for Chris Mortensen. You know, I can respect somebody and still disagree with something that they said. So don't take this as me saying, oh, this guy's an idiot, this guy's an ass clown. No, I really like Chris Mortensen. But this is a really kind of an odd take. Listen to Mort on SportsCenter talking about Justin Fields.
Delivery. Why? People don't realize Justin Fields was a big-time high school baseball player. He was invited to the Perfect Game Showcase at Harrison High School in Metro Atlanta, where the top baseball players are showcased for Major League Scouts. He also was getting ready to play baseball at Ohio State last year. So he was actually going between two sports, getting ready, and then the pandemic. Are they not? Those type of things might have messed with his mechanics just a little bit, but it's no different delivery. Why?
So that's an asinine take to say that playing baseball messed with his mechanics. I don't know where he's getting that from. And famed quarterbacks coach Tom House was quick to dispel this notion on social media. He quote tweeted this video, did House, saying, "The best quarterbacks I've worked with all played baseball. Mahomes is a shortstop that just happens to play quarterback. You do not need to specialize." I mean, Tito, think about it. I'm sure there's plenty I'm going to leave out here, but yeah, Pat Mahomes was an incredible baseball player. Kyler Murray, but before Murray got drafted, a lot of people thought he was going to choose baseball over football. John Elway was a great baseball player. I mean, have you ever heard this notion that, split? And by the way, Fields didn't even play baseball in college. He hadn't played since high school. So I think this is ridiculous. Like, have you actually heard like a real criticism that, a quarterback having played baseball is going to mess with his mechanics? I've never heard that before.
This is ultimate scraping the bottom of the barrel. Like,
he's lucky he was a day late for Terrible Take Tuesday.
He is. You're lucky, Chris. Yeah, with your nice hair and you look like you have lunch with David Culley every day. But look, man, like you said, Dono, Mahomes is the son of an MLB player, and like you said, was a shortstop. Didn't play high school football till his junior year, right? Was primarily a baseball player. Okay, Kyler Murray signed a contract with the A's in college.
Tito, how about this one? Dan Marino.
Right?
He was drafted by the Royals.
There's
in the
so
fourth
many.
round.
There's so many. Russell Wilson, another one.
Yes, that's right.
So
so some of the best quarterbacks ever played baseball.
So to me, this was backroom yoga stretch reach by Mortensen, and I don't even know how we've gotten here, man.
Yeah.
Like you're right. Like there is a deep state effort here to bring down Justin Fields'
It's
value.
the globalists, Alex Jones here. I just want to, if you're listening to this, you are part of the resistance. The deep state is trying to discredit Justin Fields. I'm telling you guys, it's the mRNA, it's the globalists, it's George Soros. He's trying to discredit Justin Fields before the draft. Like there's some, I'm telling you, like a lot of the conspiracy theories out there are misdirected. They're focusing on the wrong things. We need to get the tinfoil hat wearers behind the scenes on this Justin Fields thing. We need to figure out what George Soros and the deep state, Bill Gates, is he behind that? There is something weird going on with the Illuminati trying to discredit Justin Fields before the draft. There is an agenda here, I'm telling you. 4 o'clock hour is coming up next here on OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the man of the match with Alex Dano. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to the home of Inter Miami CF.
His strike is a decent one. It's fired into the top right corner. Gonzalo Higuain opens his account for Inter Miami.
OnSideRadio.com, where the passion for La Rosa Negra runs deep. OnSideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers?
here's your OnSide Radio E-Report with Michael Christian.
Big changes may be coming for the Call of Duty League. On Monday's E-Report, Kai told you about how the Toronto Ultra won the Stage 2 Major this last weekend. Well now, league teams are hinting at a possible return to LAN. A LAN tournament is a gaming tournament that is done in person at a single venue. Current CDL matches are taking place online, which is sometimes leading to connectivity issues and potential advantages for teams located in cities with better internet speeds. Players, fans, and organizers would all likely prefer a return to LAN tournaments, and it should definitely help boost what is already a really fun CDL season. Get ready for even more intense gameplay and the return of Trash Talk.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the OnSide Radio E-Report. You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dano.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, 4 o'clock hour of Man of the Match with Alex Dano. Oh, I'm Alex Dano, and I'm with you guys till 6 o'clock here tonight on OnSideRadio.com. You probably heard by now, and I hope you join us in a couple of weeks at Sports Grill for our OnSideRadio.com draft party. Sports Grill on Bird Road, 11481 Southwest 40th Street. Join Big O and me for this two-night event starting Thursday, April 29th at 7:30. That's day one. That's prime time, my friend. 6th overall pick, 18th overall pick. Thursday is going to be gigantic. And then night two starts a little early. Thursday night, the actual draft starts at 8 o'clock, so we go on the air at 7:30. On Friday night, the second round starts at 7 o'clock. We'll go on the air at 6:30 and take you through the end of the evening. So we're doing a two-night event at Sports Grill Bird Road. Drinking food specials, giveaways, the best damn draft party in South Florida. I mean, I don't think none of the other so-called radio stations are doing a draft party. They're still virtual. Like they are waiting for like the last ever case of COVID before they take anybody on the road. I mean, listen, I'm very thankful that we've got vaccines. We're moving in the right direction. I've had my first dose. I got that on Monday. Side effect free, by the way. I know that most people say it's really the second dose where you sometimes you get something. So I'm about 3 weeks away from that. We'll see how it goes. And I'm wishing to get well soon to our buddy KCC Kai-Chen Chisholm, who was feeling some effects from his second dose. He was off today. He's going to be back tomorrow. Although I got to tell you, I think the real reason why Kai was not on today was he was a little miserable after Bayern failed to advance. And he blames me for it. He blames me because I bet on Bayern. Actually, I bet on Bayern in both legs. Bayern on the money line. I actually won the bet for the second leg. They didn't go through. they didn't have enough away goals to go through. So I won my bet on the second leg. But I am the mush. Not only was Kai blaming me, the Miami München Bayern fan club, they were blaming me for not going through. I apologize, guys. And, hey, maybe Tito is going to blame me if Man City shits the bed today and they don't go through. Are they still down 1-0?
Yeah,
to
second
Dortmund?
half just got started, but I'm 100% blaming you if they lose.
I'm so sorry, Tito. And hell, my team didn't even get to the round of 16 from Champions League. So there may be something to it. Like, there may be something about me, mushing any team that I bet on in Champions League. So my apologies to all of the Bayern München fanboys out there for jinxing your team. I'm very sorry about this. I'm really, really sorry because I wanted to see Bayern go through, but PSG looks like the real deal. And silver lining here, I know Tito's not going to want to hear this, being the Manchester City fanboy, but with PSG already having gone through and Dortmund knocking on the door of going through, looks like we're going to get Erling Haaland against Kylian Mbappe in the next round. That's going to be fun. Tito's shaking his head. He doesn't want it. He doesn't want any piece of that. But, man, that's the future of the game right there. The next, because for the last 11, 12 years, the two biggest players in the game, Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. And for many years, they were in the same league going head-to-head in La Liga. And that was, a generation of soccer saw the two most notable players, and they're still both active. They're a little older now. They're in their mid-30s. But Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo were always 1A, 1B for the last decade plus. We're seeing before our eyes the passing of the torch. I think the next generation's version of Cristiano and Messi is Mbappe and Haaland. So it'd be really cool to watch them in the next round if we're being honest here. Remember, you can get in. You can text the show 24/7, 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. Got our pal Marla on the text line. Says she actually says she had worse symptoms after the first dose of the vaccine, including fatigue, lightheadedness, stomach issues for about 8 days. So, listen, I hope that's the case for me. I haven't really had much of anything from the first dose. I hope I have nothing from the second dose because I've heard a lot of folks say that they really feel wiped out after the second dose. Maybe I'm just going to be symptom-free. Power of a positive attitude, my friends. Alex Aguirre, I don't know if you know this about me. I have not been sick since 2013, and I believe it was an attitude shift because there was a period of about a month in late 2013. In November of 2013, I had walking pneumonia, and I was really sick. Like I for a couple, I recovered from it fully, but for a couple of days, like I felt like absolute dog poop for a couple of days. Like I felt like I was on death's door with this walking pneumonia, which can be pretty serious, all right? And then, so to defend off the walking pneumonia, they gave me a very, very aggressive antibiotics. And then after I kicked the pneumonia with the help of the antibiotics messed me up, right? Because if you take, like sometimes if you take really strong antibiotics, it screws up with your gut bacteria, like your flora. And so that messed me up. So I recovered from the pneumonia, and then for like another week and a half, I had these very severe stomach issues. I had to go to the emergency room because of that. And then I just decided no more of this nonsense. I haven't been sick since. It's been 8 years, my friends. 8 years going very strong. So and obviously I still have respect for the pandemic. I didn't want to mess with that. That's why I'm getting the vaccine. I've gotten the first dose already. I got the second dose in a few weeks. So hopefully I can get through that symptom free, my friends. I loved seeing this, by the way. The last couple days we talked about the possibility that Conor McGregor was not going to sign on the dotted line to fight Dustin Poirier. They were going back and forth Monday and Tuesday because Poirier accused McGregor of stiffing his charity because McGregor had promised to make a $500,000 donation to the Dustin Poirier Foundation, and that was 3 months ago. No donation has been made. So Poirier accused McGregor of stiffing his foundation. McGregor claimed, no, I'm not stiffing you. Your people just didn't do a good enough job explaining to us where the money was going, so we haven't paid yet. It led to a whole argument. McGregor threw a fit and said, I'm not going to fight you. You've just lost your chance to fight me. He was even on Twitter yesterday, was McGregor, like, offering the fight to other people. Like, hey, who wants to fight me July 10th because I'm not fighting Poirier? So it made people wonder, like, is he serious? Is this shtick? It turned out to be shtick. Like, this turned out to be McGregor, just wanting to hype the fight more, wanting to mess with Poirier's mind and put him on blast. And so, yeah, at the end of the day, McGregor did sign on the dotted line. He and Dustin Poirier are going to fight July 10th in Las Vegas, UFC 264. And here's the cool thing about it, my friends. UFC 264 is going to be held, Dana White announced, in front of a capacity crowd at T-Mobile Arena. They're going to open it back up, man, for 20,000 fans. The governor of Nevada had announced that in May they're planning on reducing like the whole social distancing stuff, and that they're going to be able to actually open up T-Mobile Arena to a full house come July 10th. So there's going to be 20,000 strong. I'm really happy about this, and it really shows you how, like, we're turning a corner here. Like, I was talking about this with Big O during the Crosstalk segment, about an hour and some ago. You look at July 10th, God bless America, okay, because we've done a really good job compared to Europe, compared to Russia, compared to most of Asia on vaccine rollout and making it available. Like, we've already we've lowered the age minimum to 16 years old. So anybody sick now, it's not that easy to get an appointment. I had to bust my ass to get my appointment. So I know that there's still some people out there who haven't been able to get theirs, but by July, yeah, you'll be able to get it. Like, I would say by July 10th, anyone who wants the vaccine is going to have it. Like, there are some people for a number of different reasons, whether you just don't like the idea of it or you have some kind of a pre-existing condition, you don't think you can get it. There's some people who are not going to want it and not going to get it by July 10th. But I would say that every American who wants it should be able to have it before July 10th. And then there's really no reason in my mind why we can't do a capacity crowd at T-Mobile Arena for UFC 164, or 264, I should say, UFC 264 between Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. And like a good friend of mine lives in Canada. Listen, I know everybody talks about, this Canadian healthcare, they kick our ass left and right, and maybe in certain aspects they do. But he's 35. He can't get an appointment because they haven't lowered the age enough. So we're ahead of, mighty Canada. We're ahead of most of Europe. Like, I've got family in Italy. My uncle is like 70 and he can't get the vaccine yet. They haven't even gotten the age like below 80 yet. So we're very lucky that with the rollout, we are way ahead of most of the other civilized countries in the world in getting that to the folks not only who need it the most, but to the folks who want it the most. So I'm really, really excited about that, and the idea that we're going to be able to get a full crowd in July. It's a really cool sign of things to come. Enrique asked me, do I take zinc? Yeah, if ever like I feel like I'm a little bit run down, or like if my wife, who gets colds all the time, like if she feels like she's getting a cold, then I'll take some zinc. You know what? I got to give credit to our guy Rafa in Miami. He hasn't talked about this in the chat, but he's told me this on Twitter before. Eat tomatoes. Like, I think Rafa hasn't gotten sick in like 30 years because he eats tomatoes every day. Dude, I eat a ton of tomatoes, and I feel like that helps. I really do feel like that helps. So, yeah, take your zinc if you feel something coming on. Eat your tomatoes. Try to get as much sleep as you can. Getting sleep was challenging for a while. When my son was an infant, he wasn't a great sleeper, so I would have like nights where I'd sleep like maybe 2 hours sometimes. That could be a little bit tough. Tony 2 times writes, Dustin Poirier is going to put the shellacking on Conor again. I agree with that. Conor never changes stances and stands with that front leg out too far. It's going to be leg kick city again unless Conor changes his entire fighting style. And honestly, Tony, I don't see McGregor changing his entire fighting style. Like, very clear to me watching Conor McGregor over the years. He's a very talented, very powerful, very capable striker. He's an awesome fighter, but the guy doesn't evolve. I mean, McGregor, I want to say he made his UFC debut in like 2013 or 2012, and he burst on the scene. He won a ton of fights. You know, he won a couple of titles at 2 different weight classes. But, you know, if you've been watching Conor McGregor in the UFC for the last 8 or so years, has he gotten any better? You look at Dustin Poirier. Over the last 4 years, Dustin Poirier went from being a really good fighter to an elite fighter. Like every single fight, Dustin Poirier gets a little bit better, gets a little bit more dangerous. You know, he used to fight at 145, moving up in weight has done wonders for him because I think he used to cut way too much weight. But Poirier has evolved, he's improved, he's gotten dramatically better over the years. Conor McGregor, to me, he's always been the same guy. I don't think he's gotten any better, and it might be the lifestyle that he lives because he's more focused on jet setting and, you know, launching his whiskey brands and spending his money, getting in trouble every now and then, living his lavish lifestyle. And he's probably just not putting in, like he's putting in clearly enough work to stay in great shape and to be a really good, competent fighter. But I don't think McGregor is putting in enough work to actually improve in the areas where he needs improving most, adapting in fights, you know, defensive wrestling. I don't really think McGregor is putting in enough work to actually improve and evolve, and that's one of the reasons why I think Poirier is going to kick his ass again. So here's the big question. If McGregor loses to Poirier for a second straight time this summer, is all the mystique gone at that point? Because I do give McGregor credit for something. He's lost a handful of fights in his career, and losing has not really hurt his draw, right? I mean, the most high-profile fight of his life, you know, he lost to Floyd Mayweather in boxing, and like losing that fight to Floyd, it didn't make him any less of a star. It made him a bigger star, right? You know, he got mollywopped by Habib Nurmagomedov. That didn't seem to hurt his star power at all. He got knocked out by Dustin Poirier last time out. It's not hurt his drawing power at all. So, like, at what point do you reach the loss that really takes something away from McGregor's drawing power? Okay, I heard Toast talking about him this morning in Toasted Sports. And like Toast gave the perspective of someone who's, you know, he's not a hardcore UFC fan, but he'll pay for the big fights. And he was even saying, and I was getting kind of upset listening to him say this, but I realized, who am I to question his perspective? Because he said, hey, I'm not really a fight fan. And so the only guy, in his words, who has mainstream appeal right now is Conor McGregor. He couldn't think of anyone else because he brought up the name Brock Lesnar, who's not fought in the UFC in many years, Ronda Rousey, who's not fought in the UFC in years, and she's not coming back, I don't think, ever. I think she's done. And and I'm listening to him say that nobody else has mainstream appeal besides McGregor, and I'm like, dude, what about John Jones? What about the heavyweight champ, Francis Ngannou? Like, come on, you got to give me something. And then I realized, listen, I'm speaking as the fan. Like, whatever names I throw out, I'm a hardcore fan. I watch every fight. Like, my perspective doesn't really matter there. When he's giving you the perspective of someone who's not a big fan of that sport, but only tunes in for the mega fights, who am I to question when he says that in his eyes, McGregor is the only one with mainstream appeal? So, I mean, who am I to question that? And then, so my question would be, if McGregor loses again to Poirier and he loses his third fight in 3 out of 4, are you going to be hesitant to watch him again? If he fights again after July, coming off of another loss, you're going to say, you know what, I didn't mind paying $70 for McGregor fights, when he had some mystique. Is all that mystique going to be gone? 844-416-8123. That's 844-416-8123. So want to say hello to everybody in the YouTube chat. Enrique, Tony, Herman, Rafa, Miami. Mikey No Go Zones is in. What's going on, Mike? Ray is there. Tony says it'd be over for Conor, he says, especially if he gets outclassed and finished quickly, because not competing for titles or able to compete with the new crop of assassins in the division would derail him. You're probably right about that. We'll continue the 4 o'clock hour. Remember, at 4:30, we're going to talk some Inter Miami with Alex Windley. We'll talk a little Miami Dolphins when we return here on OnSide Radio. You're listening to the only locally owned sports station in South Florida. We are OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dano. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnSideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. If you missed OnSide Zone with Big O, you missed.
Big O, Tito is not allowed in the Boom Boom Room. Never seen Smokey and the Bandit. Never seen Top Gun. What's the matter with these kids? Look at that. Now you can't hang out with Salma, Paige, Sophia. See, now you can't hang out with the ladies because you have not seen Top Gun.
Yeah, I would just hope that, like I said, the Boom Boom Room is sanitized. I would hope.
Well, I don't know, but did you hear about the 81-person orgy?
No.
What is wrong with you?
The OnSide Zone with Big O, only on OnSideRadio.com.
Hey Panthers fans, Dave Dwork here with some awesome news. Every Saturday, I'm going to bring you the latest on everything to do with the Florida Panthers with Chirping the Cats Radio. Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., we'll dive into the state of the team, recap games, and hear from past and present Panthers players, and plenty of other great hockey guests too. Got questions about the Panthers? Call or text the show and we'll break it down. Don't miss Chirping the Cats Radio, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., only on OnSideRadio.com.
He has an overbite that makes him look like a cartoon character, a slightly crooked eye, and an uncommonly wrinkly neck. In the right light, he can look a little like a garden gnome, and he'll wear a bow tie just because. Sure, you might call him a little quirky, but that's exactly what makes him so perfect. Tuna is a 3-year-old Chihuahua Dachshund mix with more than 700,000 followers on Instagram, and it all started because he was adopted. You can't buy a best friend like Tuna, but you can adopt one. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
ADHD. It's the child who can't pay attention or sit still in school, right? The answer may be yes. Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, or ADHD, can be complicated and it can last a lifetime. Living with a condition can sometimes be a challenge. It may take years to accept a formal diagnosis, and it's not always easy to find the right treatment plan. Did you know that up to 75% of children and adolescents with ADHD have at least one additional mental health condition that also requires a comprehensive approach to treatment? ADHD guidelines were recently updated to reflect the need to screen for associated disorders. Be sure to talk with your child's doctor about proper screening and visit more2adhd.com for additional information. That's more2adhd.com. This message has been brought to you in partnership with ADA, ACO, and CHAD.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dano. You can reach out anytime on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Now, this is interesting. I was looking at this chart released by YouGov. U.S. states ranked according to Americans. So, people within the United States of America were surveyed on what they considered to be the best state out of, actually, technically 51, because they go 50 plus the District of Columbia. They also counted that like a state, so out of 51. Let me ask you, Alex Aguirre, think about all the 50 states plus Washington, D.C., which state do you think most Americans would say is the best state out of the 50/51?
My gut instinct tells me like a popular state like New York, California, something like that. But I feel like it's going to be just a random state, like the actual like answer. I'm just going to go with California.
No.
I figured, yeah.
It's Hawaii.
Oh, well, yeah,
which
damn
is
it.
not a bad call.
Yeah, damn it. I always discount them.
You don't think about Hawaii.
Yeah,
or
Alaska and
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Right?
Yeah, damn. I feel bad now.
No, you don't have to feel. I mean, I've never been to Hawaii still, but it looks like paradise. Like Hawaii looks incredible, and I know people have been there and they've
as
had
good as
an
the
awesome
postcard,
time.
man. I'm sure.
Have you seen the movie Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yeah.
That looked like a hell of a time in Hawaii.
I'm sure like filming that movie must have been a blast. Like just being there.
A buddy of mine stayed in the hotel where they filmed the movie. I was so jealous when he told me that.
Like he was actually there, like on like when they were recording.
No, not when they recorded, but he years later he went and he happened to stay in the same hotel where they filmed it. I'm not sure if he knew it when he booked it, if it was the same hotel. Wouldn't surprise me if he booked it on purpose for that reason. But whether it was a coincidence or planned, he ended up at the same hotel where they filmed the movie. I thought that was pretty neat.
That movie's awesome.
It's a great movie. So. Yeah, here's how it works. Respondents were asked to choose the better of 2 states from a list of the 50 states plus Washington, D.C. in a series of head-to-head matchups. Figures shown is the percentage of times each state won their matchup. So Hawaii came in at number 1. Never been there, looks awesome. Colorado came in at number 2. Colorado's pretty badass. They've had legal weed there for a while. They got mountains. They've got Rocky Mountain oysters. Who wouldn't want to eat bull balls? It's Colorado's a pretty awesome place. They come in at number 2. This one I think is highway robbery. Virginia at number 3. Bros, I've been through Virginia. I've been to Virginia. I've stayed there. I've driven through it. Virginia blows. They do not belong in the top 5, let alone the top 3. The only thing that I enjoyed out of Virginia was, I'll admit, like some of the like Alexandria, like the suburbs like that are basically in the DC, metro area are pretty nice. Like the DC suburb area is pretty nice, but once you get like a little bit too far off the highway in Virginia, it's like the hills have eyes country. Like it's very backwoods. I don't know, man. And also the thing that annoyed the hell out of me out of Virginia was I've driven through there multiple times, and I'm a big radar detector guy, and they have a law against, like, you cannot operate a radar detector in that state. And I don't know, like I feel powerless. Like if I'm driving on a big road trip and I can't, if I don't know who may be blasting me with their radar guns, I feel a little bit naked without that. And then I'm not a fan of Virginia. Nevada at number 4. Nevada's a great place. Nevada should be ranked higher than Virginia. It's ridiculous. North Carolina at number 5. I think North Carolina is incredibly overrated, but it still is kind of awesome. Florida came in at number 6. Okay. Well, I think Florida could be ranked a little bit higher because you think about it. No state income tax. No matter where you are in the state of Florida, you're not more than like an hour away from the beach, because even like Orlando is like dead in the middle of the state, and still you drive like an hour in either direction, you're at the beach there. So, Florida, and people are crazy in Florida. I love it. Like you have everything from like rednecks to people from all over the world. Like Florida has the widest range of people. I love Florida. I think Florida should be ranked higher than number 6. I'll just round out the top 15 here. Arizona at number 7. New York at number 8. Georgia at number 9. Texas, number 10. Texas might be a little bit underrated. I like Texas. Maine, never been there, number 11. The lobster and the chowder, though, are probably worth the price of admission there. California comes in at number 12. God, I'll tell you who's criminally underrated here. Alaska comes in at number 13. Anyone who's ever been to Alaska, I've been there. I went there on an Alaskan cruise for my honeymoon. Alaska is excellent. Like the scenery that you have in Alaska, like the gigantic mountains that go right to the water, the glaciers. I think anybody who would rank Alaska outside of the top 10 has just not been there, and they don't understand. Alaska is an incredible state. Now, I wouldn't want to live there year-round at least, because it gets incredibly cold in the winter. But, yeah, no, Alaska deserves to be ranked higher than number 13. I think that's criminal. Vermont at number 14. Washington State at number 15. Oregon number 16. By the way, just so you know, the states that came in last. Now, again, technically there are 51 on this list because they rank the District of Columbia as a state. They came in dead last. No respect for our nation's capital at number 51. And then Alabama came in at number 50. So out of all the states surveyed, the actual state that got the least amount of love was Alabama, coming in at number 15. Oh, that is tremendous. Oh, my God. Saban in the mud. Oh, let's welcome in Rosendo into the YouTube chat. He says, good afternoon, Dono and OnSide Zone family. My favorite steaks are churrasco and a well-done palomilla steak. Rosendo, my God. Actually, I do enjoy palomilla, and I guess palomilla probably has to be well done because it's so thin. Like, you can't really make, like, a rare palomilla. I like churrasco, of course. I think my favorite steak would be, like, a medium rare ribeye or porterhouse would probably be my favorites. I like filet mignon. Filet mignon is very overrated, though. I would rank New York strip higher than filet mignon. Definitely ribeye, porterhouse, I would rank in front of that. Churrasco is a really nice change of pace, especially if you have, like, some chimichurri sauce. Oh, so freaking good. So freaking good. Oh, Willie Molina, welcome you to the chat as well. Oh, man. Herman Cueva is asking who we picking at number 6 in the draft. You guys know where I feel about this. If Kyle Pitts is still on the board at 6, you have to take him. I'm getting increasingly pessimistic, though, about him still being there at number 6 overall. I just have this feeling because Kyle Pitts is getting so much buzz now. He's not going top 3. We know that because the Jaguars, the Jets, and the 49ers are definitely taking quarterbacks. We know that. Atlanta's a wild card. I don't think they're taking a quarterback because of the Matt Ryan restructure. I think that they're either going to go Penei Sewell. Maybe they could trade down perhaps to a team who wants a quarterback. Or if they don't go Sewell, I think Atlanta could go Kyle Pitts. I think that they are a threat to us a little bit. Cincinnati probably wouldn't take Pitts. I think Cincinnati, they would take Sewell. I don't know. I never know if I should call him Sewell or Sewell. I go back and forth on that. But I could see Cincinnati taking Sewell if he's still there. Maybe Jamar Chase because he played with Burrow. So, yeah, I think the Dolphins are going to get the best of whoever's left at the skill position, guys. When we come back, we're going to talk some Inter Miami CF. We're only 4 days away from the season opener. Alex Windley does a great job covering the team. She's going to join us after this here. We'll talk a little football on OnSide Radio. And, hey, Florida Panthers fans have a place to call home. Every Saturday morning as Cats insider David Dwork hosts Chirping the Cats Radio every Saturday at 10 a.m. OnSide Radio is committed to all sports, and Panthers fans can now connect every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m. with Dwork on the home for Panthers fans worldwide, OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can connect with us at OnSideRadio.com by sending us a text at 844-416-8123. Save it on your cell phone, 844-416-8123. No better place to send your comments, ask questions, win prizes. OnSideRadio.com, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan.
There are those who dedicate themselves to a sense of honor, to a life of courage, and a commitment to something greater than themselves. They have always defended this nation and each other. They still do. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com. Hey everybody, it's Good Greek Moving and Storage, and for over 2 decades, they've been entrusted to handle all of your moving and storage needs. And now, Good Greek is the official mover of Inter Miami CF. And if Inter Miami trusts the Good Greek, you should too. For the best move ever, whether it's across town or across the country, go to GreekMoving.com. That's GreekMoving.com for Good Greek Moving and Storage, the official movers of your Inter Miami CF.
Riddle me this. With all this sizzling meat and crunchy veggies nestled between toasty flatbread, who should get credit for Papa John's new papadilla? The person who invented pizza or the person who invented folding? Well, whoever it is, a tip of the tongue hat to you, sir or madam. Get a new papadilla, 4 flavors, just $6 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, better than a sandwich. Papa John's.
My daughter Brinley is here at St. Jude. Coming here was literally life or death, and it was so scary. But St. Jude is fighting for one goal, like this one mission, life. And that gave us hope. We haven't received a single bill from St. Jude, so I really can just focus on what's best for Brinley.
Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Keeping you informed in the world of sports. With an OnSideRadio.com sports update.
The Miami Marlins make it 3 in a row after beating the Atlanta Braves 14-8. Adam Duvall had 4 hits, including 2 home runs and 7 RBIs against his former team. Game 3 of the 4-game series is tonight. Nick Neidert versus Charlie Morton is the pitching matchup. First pitch is at 7:20. The Florida Panthers beat the Dallas Stars 3-2 in overtime. Fran the Tank Vetrano had the overtime winner. Chris Driger had 24 saves. Next game is in Tampa. Puck drops at 7 p.m. The Miami Heat lost to the Phoenix Suns last night 106-86. The Suns bench scored 65 points. Jimmy Butler had 18 points in the loss. Butler did roll his ankle in the fourth quarter, but returned to the game. The Heat play in Denver tonight. Tip-off is at 10 p.m. In UFC news, Dana White announced Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier trilogy fight at UFC 264 in July will be in front of a capacity crowd at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. This is South Florida's home for local sports talk. This is OnSideRadio.com.
OnSide Radio, the only choice for the South Florida sports fan. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can reach out anytime on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Guys, we are so close, man. So close to MLS soccer. Season starting Saturday. Inter Miami opening things up on Sunday afternoon against LA Galaxy. To talk more about that, we welcome in Alex Windley, who does an awesome job covering Inter Miami CF for MLS Multiplex and World Football Index. Alex, thank you for taking the time. How you doing today?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well. And I don't think we've ever had so many Alexes here at the same time. I mean, we got Alex Aguirre producing. We got Alex Windley with us. And I really appreciate your time. And I loved the piece that you wrote, the recap of the scrimmage from last Friday. It was really good. And you know, something I wanted to ask you, because I wasn't able to watch it, and your breakdown was incredible. You know, you wrote something that I kind of suspected would be the case as far as Rodolfo Pizarro's role, because I know that sort of the official, you know, formation for Phil Neville is a 4-3-3, but it sounded to me a little bit more like kind of a 4-2-3-1 with Pizarro playing, you know, behind the striker. Is that the way that things looked in the scrimmage to you, that Pizarro is going to have more of an advanced role than Gregore and Matuidi?
Yeah, for sure. During the scrimmage, Pizarro was the higher of the three of them. Gregory was the anchor. Matuidi was the box-to-box guy. Pizarro would definitely be that 10 in that midfield three. But he did drop back. He did do some defending. So he won't be a pure 10, but he'll definitely be a bit of a free-floating central midfielder in that role.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, you would agree that that's probably the perfect role for him because of his creativity, because of his ability on the ball. I mean, I see that as being where he would thrive most, no?
Yes, of course. He does have an engine. He's a pretty stocky guy. He can put in a tackle when he needs to. So that role that Neville is putting in him currently definitely suits his attributes.
I love it. What can you tell me about Robbie Robinson in this training camp? Because that's a player that, you know, he's taken a little bit more time. You know, he had certainly some issues off the pitch last year and was so young coming out of college. I've heard Phil Neville just really raving about him. I mean, do you think Robbie Robinson could end up having a breakout year?
I do. I think with all, you know, the Daryl DK discussion, whether or not Inter Miami should have picked him before Robbie, I think Robbie just had a difficult year last season. I think a lot of the players did. Neville is super high on Robinson as well, so I fully expect him to come into that left wing role, playing off Higuain, Pizarro, and Lewis Morgan, you know, just learning his trade and definitely scoring some goals for the team this year.
You know, a place where Inter Miami is going to look different from a season ago is at the fullback spots. And the guys who look to feature there, Leerdam on the right and Jovan Jones on the left. Do you feel like Inter Miami has upgraded at the fullback positions? And what did you see from those guys in the scrimmage?
100%.
Nice.
100%. Last season, we did have a difficult time at that position. You know, Figal, Nealis, Sweat, it was all interchangeable with Leerdam. But with Leerdam and Jovan Jones coming in, we have two MLS Cup proven winners, you know, who can upgrade that spot and do what Neville wants them to do. Leerdam looked fantastic. He scored a goal even. He was up and down that right flank. Jovan was as well. So I fully expect Inter Miami's fullback play to be phenomenal this season.
You know, something I was so happy to see you write this in your piece about the midfield. You already mentioned Gregory and, of course, Matuidi. I've watched him for many years. I know what he's capable of. Do you feel like Inter Miami are going to be in good hands here with the holding midfielders? And what can you tell us about Gregory, because he is new to this league, of course?
Absolutely. Gregory, as far as Matuidi goes, I think he did struggle last year. Everyone did, but I think in that scrimmage you saw him really take on a leadership role. You know, you saw him out there barking out orders. You know, he was screening the back line as well, doing that box-to-box role. As far as Gregory goes, he'll improve our midfield 100%. He was that anchor. He was that guy cleaning up the messes. He was that guy spraying out balls to the wide players, whether it be the wingers or the fullbacks. He's definitely going to hold down that back four should anyone get caught out of position. And it's definitely probably one of the more underrated pickups this offseason in the league.
What's your expectation this year for Gonzalo Higuain? This is obviously someone who's not far removed from being a world-class player in Europe. You know, got off to a slow start in the couple of months he was on the team last year. But do you feel like this is a year where he can really settle down and start scoring more goals?
Yeah, like any European, based player who, had career playing in Europe for years, it's hard to acclimate to MLS. You know, there's a lot of guys who did come to the league and expected to tear it up, but, it's the travel, the weather. It's a difficult league. But for Gonzalo, he did look good during that scrimmage. There were a few shouts of frustration, but I think that was more on himself than his teammates. But I fully expect him to score, 10-plus goals this season. He looks fit. He looks sharp. He's got the new hair. He looks ready. I was recently reading an article where he said he was super comfortable here in Miami, and he feels at peace. So I expect him to do big things this season.
What are your impressions so far of Phil Neville? Because I know that there were a lot of people who criticized the hire only because he doesn't have a ton of managerial experience, and most of the experience that he does have was coaching a national team, which is so different from coaching a club. I've liked everything I've heard him say so far, and I like the approach he's had in the preseason. But like I said, this is a hire that's been questioned by a lot of people. What are your impressions covering Neville so far?
Initially, I was a bit skeptical, coming off of Diego Alonso, in Miami, we expected to go the South American route, but as soon as Phil walked in, it's been day and night. He's super kind, he's super intelligent, he knows what he wants his players to do, he's super transparent, he knows what he's doing. Tactically, it's spot on, it fits the players. You can ask him anything and he'll be transparent about it. There's a new aura going around the facilities as well, and I'm just super excited to see him, get started, because I definitely think this team is going to do big things this season.
We're joined here by Alex Windley, who does an awesome job covering Inter Miami for MLS Multiplex and World Football Index. Yeah, I've been going through, Alex, some of the projections on where Inter Miami are going to finish. And now last year they did get into the playoffs, but it was a much different playoff picture with 10 teams from the East qualifying. It's back down to 7 playoff teams per conference this year, so they're going to have to work a little bit harder and collect some more points to get in this season. And like I was looking through like an MLS preview piece the other day from MLSsoccer.com, and all the writers and columnists were doing their predictions for every team, and most of them had Inter Miami finishing anywhere between like 10th to 13th place in the East, which seems a little bit low to me. I mean, what in your mind, what's a realistic expectation as to where Inter Miami could finish points-wise in the East this year?
As far as that goes, I think we'll definitely be better than we were last season. We've got the pieces to be able to do that. As far as points goes, I do see us firmly finishing within the top 7, maybe top 5, depending on how we go. I know MLS writers, they're not too high on us, and that's fair because we didn't have the best season last year, and we didn't play the best football, but from what I've seen and what I feel, honestly, I do feel like this team has it in them. They can finish comfortably in the top 5 in the East and definitely make a playoff run if they're up to it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. When I talked about this yesterday, Alex, I was saying that I'm expecting them to finish somewhere between 5 to 7. So we are very much of one mind on that, no doubt. What are you looking forward to seeing most this Sunday against LA Galaxy? It's certainly not going to be an easy matchup. What's your expectation for the opener?
I'm looking forward to see how our center back duo holds up. Nico Figal and Leandro Gonzalez-Pirez. I know they did have a difficult year last season. There was a lot of discussions on, should Shawcross start? Who should we bring in? But looking at the scrimmage this past Sunday, they looked very solid. They looked together. They were on the same wavelength. That back line will hold up pretty well. I think Neville drilled them tactically well enough, and I'm looking forward to see how they hold up for sure.
Well, really good stuff here. And everyone, you want to make sure you follow Alex Windley on Twitter at AAW_1998. Check out her work at World Football Index and MLS Multiplex, a couple of really good platforms where she covers Inter Miami CF. Thank you so much for taking the time, and enjoy the opener this weekend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. Thank you.
My pleasure. Really, really good stuff there. And I'm telling you, and I retweeted it a little while ago. Like, for those of you who are looking for some preseason material for Inter Miami, you want to check out her breakdown of the scrimmage this past Friday. I thought it was a really good piece at looking at the tactics, the formation, the contributors. It was nice to see Robbie Robinson getting a goal, Leerdam as well, and it seems like things are coming together. And yeah, after reading that MLS preview piece where many of the writers had them finishing like in the teens in the East, I thought that they seem criminally underrated, but I don't mind being there. Like, I don't mind being in that spot where a team is underrated coming in, because then you have a chance to exceed expectations. I'm good with that. I'm going to tackle the roundtable question when we come back. The roundtable topic for today, I like it because it has to do with sports gambling in the state of Florida. So I'm all over that. And hey, you know what? Man City took the lead, so I know Tito is very happy. Man City has now the 2-1 lead over Dortmund. I've got Man City on the money line. And on the other game, Liverpool-Real Madrid, which is still scoreless, 88th minute. Anything other than a Liverpool win, I cash in, because I put some money on a draw and on a Real Madrid victory. So if it does stay a draw, that's plus 295. That's pretty good. So not bad. And if we can legalize sports betting in Florida, you make things a lot easier for me. We'll talk about that and more when we come back here on OnSide Radio. Hey, Saturday mornings at 9 a.m., Sean Stanley hosts the Squared Circle Digest. Now wrestling fans have a place to call home as Sean covers the very colorful world of wrestling. Tune in every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on the home for sports fans worldwide, OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dano. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Join the Inter Miami family in 2021 by becoming a 2021 season ticket member. Enjoy enhanced access benefits and pricing not available to general fans. Visit intermiamicf.com/tickets for more information.
If you missed 4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh, you missed.
And the top trait they're looking for in a partner is someone that can cook better than them.
Wow.
Yeah. How are you at cooking?
I'm okay. I cook
boy.
all my stuff.
What's your best dish? If I had to say, Marsh, this you're gonna eat in tonight with a girl. All right.
If
And
I'm
you need to
cooking for a
create-
girl,
Yeah, you
then
gotta
I'm
create
not
the meal.
cooking.
4th and 20 with Toast and Marsh, weekday mornings from 8 to 10.
Hey Panthers fans, Dave Dwork here with some awesome news. Every Saturday, I'm going to bring you the latest on everything to do with the Florida Panthers with Chirping the Cats Radio. Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., we'll dive into the state of the team, recap games, and hear from past and present Panthers players, and plenty of other great hockey guests too. Got questions about the Panthers? Call or text the show and we'll break it down. Don't miss Chirping the Cats Radio, Saturday mornings from 10 to 11 a.m., only on OnSideRadio.com.
You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
If you missed OnSide Zone with Big O, you missed.
The sport is headed in a direction where it's going to die because the fan base is dying. It's people my age or older that follow baseball, and we're dying. And so they're not getting any of the new fans. Young fans, the whole sport is all screwed up, dude. From the cheating scandals to the way they mismanage it, by the way, the way it has not gone and changed with modern times, the fact that baseball players are so freaking ignorant that they don't understand that they've got to market their own game. The wussiest thing in the world is you hit a home run on me, so now I'm going to plunk you. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
The OnSide Zone with Big O, weekdays 11 to 1 p.m., only on OnSideRadio.com. You're listening to this station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world.
Can I get a captain?
Captain and what?
Captain and Ginger.
I can't hear you.
Captain and Ginger.
He was a captain and ginger, captain and ginger. He was a captain and ginger.
Captain Morgan, official partner of Major League Soccer.
Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. You can reach out anytime on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, today's roundtable topic, pretty appropriate for me. I've got, at least 2 active sports bets every day of the week. I've got 2 going right now in Champions League. So I'm no stranger to this topic, the roundtable discussion for today. And remember, take advantage, guys, every single day here on this station. Toast in the morning, Kai in the midday, Big O and me in the afternoon. We all tackle the roundtable question, and then at the end of the day, a couple hours from now, actually probably about an hour from now or less, Alex Aguirre makes a master cut. He gets Toast, Kai, O, and my answers, and he splices it all together, and we podcast it. So the roundtable is a really cool feature we have here on OnSide Radio. So the roundtable for today. The Florida State Legislature is working with the Seminole Tribe and Governor on legalizing sports betting. They have until April 30th to approve it. The real question is, why isn't this placed on a ballot for voters to decide? In your opinion, if sports betting was placed on a ballot, would it pass? Let me tackle that last part first. That's so tough to predict because we've had this on the ballot years ago and it didn't pass. This has actually been turned down by voters in the state of Florida before. You really start manipulating hearts and minds. When an issue like this comes up, you get lobbyists on both sides. You get, like, I don't know if it's the religious right or what it is, that they demonize gambling. Like, they demonize, oh, this is an addiction. If you allow somebody to place a sports bet, it's a slippery slope, and before you know it, you're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, and you're in a crack den somewhere, and your life is ruined. Like, that's the way they present it, as if being able to place a few legal wagers is going to ruin somebody's life, and it scares people. It gets people all riled up. Now, I would like to think that if this were put on a ballot in 2021, that this would pass. I'd like to think that. I think it would pass by the narrowest of margins, man. The very narrowest of margins, because when you start to see, a lot of big important states, New Jersey, they already have legalized sports betting. New York has passed it. It's going to go official for them, I think, in 2022. You're going to be able to place legal sports bets there. A number of other states are passing this. So this to me, it reminds me a lot of legalized marijuana, where there are a lot of states still behind on it, but you're starting to see recreational marijuana legal in a number of states. I think around 20 states now in the country. And I do think that sports betting is becoming more widely accepted by the year. And I don't know, guys, my take is always this, that if it's okay to play the lottery, if it's okay in this state, because in Florida you can play blackjack, right? If you can bet money in poker rooms, if you can bet money at a blackjack table, pai gow, baccarat, you can play slot machines. I don't understand why you would draw the line at sports gambling. I really don't. Like, how is betting on a sporting event any different or any worse than sitting at a blackjack table or sitting in a poker room or buying scratch-off tickets? I don't really see where you can draw the line with one of these being a vice and another thing being perfectly acceptable. The fact, though, that they're throwing this together now and they have until April 30th to approve it, I'm not really optimistic, because here's the thing. I was reading an article about this, guys, this morning, from the Sun Sentinel. Adding to the complexity of legalized sports gambling are discussions between the state and the Seminole Tribe of Florida. A sports betting agreement between the two bodies has yet to be reached, despite years of bargaining. Now, the Seminole Tribe has a lot of power and a lot of sway in Florida. They are very wealthy and they are gigantic. And if you notice, I don't know if it's like this in the entire state, but I know that in South Florida, we've got some quote-unquote casinos down here, some racetracks and places that have slot machines. You can only play blackjack at a Seminole casino. Like, they have exclusive rights to blackjack, and I think they're trying to get exclusive rights to a sports book as well. Now, to me, that's better than nothing. Like, if I have to roll up to the Seminole Casino or to the Hard Rock Casino to go to a sports book, I'd be fine with that. I'd much prefer, though, for this to be open. Like, if I could get a Kendall sports book near my house and like a downtown sports book, I would be all for that. But if this ends up being, at least for a while, an exclusive Seminole thing, I can live with that. I think it's better than nothing to me. So I'm not optimistic for this to happen by April 30th because, again, the state of Florida has been making some strides on this for years, and they've been negotiating with the Seminole Tribe for years, and we still don't have it. Why would I think they're going to throw something together in the next 2 weeks? It sounds too good to be true for me. The article goes on to state that Texas, New York, California, and Florida represent the quote-unquote Big Four when it comes to sports betting. They are the four biggest states in terms of population, and they all have major professional sports franchises. New York recently approved an online sports betting plan in its fiscal year 2022 budget, and Texas voters may get a chance to legalize sports betting this November if a constitutional amendment is approved. And so there, at least Texas is actually putting it on the ballot. It makes me feel a little bit powerless as a Floridian to know that I'm relying on legislators to do this behind my back and negotiate with, powerful actors, and I don't get any say in it because, listen, as a voter, if I could get this on a ballot in November, I'm getting my ass to the polls and I'm voting yes on it, and I'm not going to have any say. So I feel a little bit powerless. Now, the other thing, when you talk about what the benefits would be here, it's no secret a lot of people in the state of Florida are betting on sports. They're using offshore sports books, or they're flying to Vegas on some weekends to go to the sports book. This is an opportunity at revenue, folks. This is a great opportunity for the state of Florida to be able to have officially run sports books, to tax it, like the same way that states like Colorado and Oregon are making money hand over foot on recreational marijuana because they're taxing it, and that's another stream of revenue. If you can turn sports betting into another stream of revenue for the state, everybody wins. So, wow, the Champions League matches for today have both gone final. Real Madrid and Liverpool, 0-0 draw. That means Real Madrid are going through. And Man City, 2-1 over Dortmund. So Man City going through 4-2 on aggregate. So Real Madrid going through 3-1 on aggregate, Man City going through 4-2 on aggregate. And yeah, before this round started, the quarterfinals, that's I did think that all the teams who had the wins in the first leg would go through, and that's the way it played out. No shockers, no come from behinds, no upsets here. The 4 teams that had the leads in the first leg all closed it out and advanced in the second leg. We got the 5 o'clock hour coming up next here on OnSide Radio. Hey, start your morning every day at 8 a.m. with Toast. Toast covers all the local sports stories while providing some great Miami Hurricanes insight. Download, subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Toasted Sports, 8 to 10 a.m. only at OnSideRadio.com.
OnSideRadio.com knows gamers need a home.
Can you dig it?
That's why for the next 60 seconds,
Can you count, suckers?
here's your OnSide Radio E-Report with Michael Christian.
Big changes may be coming for the Call of Duty League. On Monday's E-Report, Kai told you about how the Toronto Ultra won the Stage 2 Major this last weekend. Well now, league teams are hinting at a possible return to LAN. A LAN tournament is a gaming tournament that is done in person at a single venue. Current CDL matches are taking place online, which is sometimes leading to connectivity issues and potential advantages for teams located in cities with better internet speeds. Players, fans, and organizers would all likely prefer a return to LAN tournaments, and it should definitely help boost what is already a really fun CDL season. Get ready for even more intense gameplay and the return of Trash Talk.
Stay in touch in the world of gaming with the OnSide Radio E-Report. We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dano. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the Radio.net app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station.
Hey everybody, it's Good Greek Moving and Storage, and for over 2 decades, they've been entrusted to handle all of your moving and storage needs. And now, Good Greek is the official mover of Inter Miami CF. And if Inter Miami trusts the Good Greek, you should too. For the best move ever, whether it's across town or across the country, go to GreekMoving.com. That's GreekMoving.com for Good Greek Moving and Storage, the official movers of your Inter Miami CF.
Miami Dolphins fans can always count on the best coverage at OnSideRadio.com. Every week, keep up with your favorite team as Dolphins writer Omar Kelly joins us with exclusive reports. And when news breaks, catch the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins report on the home for Dolphins fans everywhere, OnSideRadio.com. You're listening to the flagship station of Inter Miami CF, OnSideRadio.com. Follow us on social media at OnSide Radio. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dano.
It's all yours. Just keep it right here.
You can reach out anytime on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, 5 o'clock hour of Man of the Match with Alex Dano. Oh, I'm Alex Dano, and I'm with you here on OnSideRadio.com. Alex Aguirre is riding shotgun for another hour with me. We take you up until 6 o'clock here on OnSide Radio. So, Alex, the Marlins put up 2 touchdowns yesterday, man. I'm happy to see it. You know, they have the chance to. What time do they play tonight? 6:40.
7:20.
7:20. They have the chance to get 3 out of 4 in the 4-gamer with the Braves here tonight. Are you worried that they might have used up all their runs?
They ran out of bullets. That's exactly what I'm worried about. You know, they started the season off horrific, you know, with their offense. Then they blew up with 12 runs against the Rays. And then they scored 14 now against the Braves. So that's 14, 12, 26, and I think they scored 43 runs in the total for so far this season. So in just 2 games, they've scored more than half of their runs all season. So I'm a little worried that they're going to go on an offensive slump again for the next 5 or 6 games, and then for another game, blow up for 10-plus runs. So I would like to see the bats stay, hot and hopefully, ride this out. But, just splitting this series against the Braves makes me really happy. But having the opportunity to go take 3 out of 4, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Hell yeah, man. I'm looking forward to that.
That's the measuring stick, as Don Mattingly likes to call them.
Measuring stick. I love that. The only team that let us down last night was the Miami Heat. I made a calculated decision last night, Alex. As you know, I'm not a night owl the way that I used to be. Dude, when I was in college and when I was in my 20s, I would stay up until like 4 a.m. routinely. But, I'm a man now. I'm a man. I'm almost 40. I got a child. I got a family. Every now and then, I will make a gamble. If the Heat are playing like a 10 o'clock game, a 10:30 game sometimes on the West Coast, if I'm feeling good about it, I'll say, you know what, YOLO. I'm going to stay up till 1 in the morning tonight if that's what it takes. I did that on Sunday. On Sunday night, I stayed up until like 1 a.m. because I felt really good about that game against the Trailblazers, and the Heat didn't let me down that night. They took care of business. TCB. They really dominated the Trailblazers on Sunday, and I had a bad feeling about last night's meeting with the Phoenix Suns. I stayed up. The game started a little after 10. I stayed up until about 11, and so I saw the Heat have a really good first quarter. They put up, 34 points in the first quarter. Then they put up 36 points the entire second half. But, I opted out. Right? Like Greg Rousseau, I opted out of the second half. I decided to go to bed. And when I woke up this morning and I saw what happened, they lose 106-86. And the Phoenix Suns, their bench put up almost as many points as the entire Miami Heat team did. A season high 65 points for the Phoenix Suns bench yesterday. Compare that to 24 points from the Miami Heat bench. It turns out I made a really good decision not watching the end of it last night. I did catch up with it on the Bally Sports Sun replay today. Yeah, I saw what happened to Jimmy Butler. He rolls the ankle with 11:40 left in the fourth quarter. That's the sort of thing you freak out when you see that as a Heat fan. God forbid something happens to Jimmy Butler. I mean, you already have Victor Oladipo sitting out for non-existent phantom injuries. Like, every test comes back negative, and the guy still isn't coming back. All right, X-ray, negative. MRI, no structural damage. All right, we coming back, Victor? No, I don't know. I'm a little worried. I've injured this knee before, 2 years ago. I don't know, man. I don't care what the MRI says and the X-ray says. I don't feel like playing again. Oh, okay. Okay, Victor. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. Soft, Charmin soft Oladipo. But Jimmy Butler is not soft. I know Jimmy Butler has missed some games for injuries, and he's missed some games for personal reasons. But Jimmy rolled the ankle with 11 and a half minutes to go, and 3.5 minutes to go, he was back in the game, despite the fact that the Heat were way down. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate the work that trainer Jay Sable did for him. I guess Victor Oladipo is he's beyond Mr. Sable's powers, but he was able to work some wonders with Jimmy. Duncan Robinson was like the only guy who could actually hit a shot. He was 4 of 10 on three-pointers, which is not great. But Robinson was 4 for 10 on threes. The rest of the Heat, 5 for 34. The bench, 0 for 17 from 3. Oh, man. So it ends up being a 20-point loss. 86 points. that's like a point total you would put up in 1997. 86 points in 2021 is not going to get you a victory, man. So, the Heat were just they were outmatched by the Phoenix Suns. I heard Ira Winderman say this today, and I agree. Like, you got to look at the Suns, and you realize this is what a championship contender looks like. They're not going to win a title. Don't get me wrong. The Phoenix Suns are not winning the NBA championship, but that's a team that's trying to put themselves in the conversation, right? They have the ability, they have the depth is the big thing. I mean, anytime you can get your bench to score 65 points, it's obviously there's something special going there. We were even able to dodge the big Jay Crowder night because Jay Crowder had his breakout big scoring game the game prior. He was very quiet against the Miami Heat last night, and really it was the Suns bench, not their starters, that got it done and just kicked our asses. And this is a tough period for the Heat, guys. They're in a stretch now where they've got to play 8 games over 12 days. That's a combination of a couple factors here. Not only do you have a condensed schedule to begin with because you started the season so late, so they squeezed in 72 games in a shorter period of time, but you're also making up games that were postponed early in the year. Well, you remember when the Heat had their various COVID/contact tracing crises and they had to postpone some games. You're now making up those games during this stretch. So 8 games in a period of 12 days. That's really, really rough. So, I hopefully they can bounce back in Denver tonight. That's not going to be an easy matchup for the Heat, but hopefully they can bounce back tonight, man. And a guy that frustrates me more and more is Precious Achiuwa. What are you good for right now? If this guy could score with half the efficiency that he can pick up personal fouls, we'd be in pretty good shape. I mean, within like 1 minute, he picked up 2 personal fouls last night. Oh, Achiuwa is just frustrating. It's going to take some time. I think he can be a nice player. I can't guarantee you he's a member of the Heat long term because that could maybe be a trading chip at some point within the next calendar year. But obviously you got to be patient with a guy like Achiuwa because he seems to be a Pat Riley type player, a really good defensive player. He's just not polished whatsoever on the offensive end. So I hope that the Heat can turn him into something, man. So, yeah, the Heat were the only team that didn't get it done last night. The Marlins got a big victory. The Florida Panthers got a very important win, 3-2 in overtime over the Dallas Stars. And for the Panthers, even coming off of a 3-game losing skid, with that victory last night, they're right back tied for first place in the division. I think it's 58 points, all 3 of the top teams, Tampa, Carolina, and the Florida Panthers all have now the same point total. So it's gonna be a photo finish down the stretch. And the importance of winning the division, it's even greater than usual because if you win the division, you take on the 4th place team in the playoffs in the first round. If you get 2nd or 3rd place, you're gonna have to take on either Tampa Bay or Carolina in the first round. And quite frankly, I don't see the Florida Panthers winning a 7-game series against either of those teams. It's not a guarantee because the most important thing in the playoffs, if you can get a couple of hot goal scorers and a hot goaltender, Chris Drieger was fantastic last night. My guy Sergei Bobrovsky, listen, Dono, people talk a lot of shit here about me, Sergei Bobrovsky. I come from Soviet Russia, have to wait in very long line for bread, for cigarette, for vodka. I have to wait in very long line. Back in Soviet Russia, I come over the wonderful country, United States of America. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. You have I only have to wait in line like 3 minutes for vodka here in the United States of America. I don't even smoke cigarette anymore here in America. We don't need it. The air is very clear here in the United States of America. I get in net and I stop shot. Unfortunately, he's not stopping shot with the same efficiency that he was stopping them in Columbus a couple of years ago. But I know what Bob is capable of. I have seen what Bob is capable of. And if he can get hot, or if Drieger can, because usually in the playoffs, once a goaltender emerges, you ride the hot hand. You're not going to be rotating as much in the playoffs as you do in the regular season. So if hypothetically Bob were to start the first playoff game and not look so good, maybe then you turn to Drieger. If Drieger gets really hot, you stick with the hot goalie. Or if Bob starts the first game and he's electric, you stick with the hot Bobrovsky. And if either one of those guys can get super hot come playoff time, maybe that can make all the difference in the world. I like this a lot. Chris Collinsworth, from NBC Sports said, quote, about the NFL draft coming up, Jalen Phillips is the best defensive player in this year's draft. I don't think it's even close. And, Phillips is I could see Jalen Phillips, the defensive end out of Miami. I could see him dropping to number 18, and you're going to have a decision to make because the Dolphins, they definitely are going to be looking at edge rusher, in the draft. Number 18, Chris Greer to me is more of a BPA type of guy. I think he's going to be probably drafting more, especially in the first round, on best player available than he would be to fill specific positions. But Jalen Phillips could check off both of those boxes. It may depend on whether or not Najee Harris is still on the board because Najee is so electric. If that guy's still there at number 18, from where I sit, it'd be really hard to pass on him. But Phillips, tremendous story. I think he actually, to me, has even more potential to be a well-rounded D-end than Greg Rousseau does. Rousseau may have more freakish athletic talent, but I think Phillips has more potential. And Phillips, for what it's worth, he had a better pro day. I don't want to judge everything on a pro day. I mean, our guy Justin Fields actually had 2 pro days, and he rocked both of them, and he's still getting doubted by the deep state. There's an anti-Justin Fields conspiracy. But, Jalen Phillips could end up. I don't think he's necessarily going to be the first defensive player taken, but it's flattering to hear Chris Collinsworth say that about Phillips because I'm a big fan of his, man. I really am. Oh man, let's see. Bromar Smelly says, I wonder if oh no, this is Rosendo who says it actually. I think Bromar is in the chat as well. But Rosendo says, I wonder if Alex still has a beard. Well, yeah, because you're watching me, and I'm wearing a mask here to do the show. I'll pull it down real quick. I won't even breathe, so I'm not gonna breathe any droplets on our guy Alex. Although I'm 50% vaccinated, so we're getting there. But I'll pull down my mask real quick. You can see I do have a beard rocking here. See that? It's looking pretty good these days. I need to trim it. I have a beard trimmer, and when I rock a heavy beard, it's 70% out of I just like it, and it's 30% laziness. Because if I was less lazy, I'd probably trim it a little bit more often. But days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and that's just the way things go, man. Oh man. Andres asks, over under the Heat will get another injury before the playoffs. Well, I mean, over under, if you're asking me how many injuries, I don't know what to expect from Oladipo. If Oladipo gets a hangnail, he's not going to play again until 2023. This guy's so soft. I don't know what to expect from Victor. Would not surprise me if Dragic has more issues because he's just at that age where everything's going wrong for him. I don't know. I think Jimmy is going to be all right. Jimmy has just turned into a freight train lately. I think he's going to really turn it on and stay healthy come playoff time. But, yeah, I don't know. For this team, I think they need to really make any noise in the playoffs. You've got to have a healthy Jimmy, Bam. If Oladipo can be healthy and actually contribute in the playoffs, that would be a huge boost. And I think Dragic needs to be healthy. I mean, you saw the difference it made in the finals when Dragic was not available for most of that series. I think the Heat are going to need to have all hands on deck to really make moves in the postseason. Looking at the text line, want to send out a shout-out to our guy, Kenneth Cleveland. He says, good afternoon, Dono. Kenneth Cleveland is live from the Boom Boom Room. Dono, the lovely ladies, Hallie, Selma, Sophia, Paige, Charlize, and Beyonce and I have both had shots, he says. Oh, he means shot. I thought he meant shots of vodka, but no, he means vaccinations. He says no. Yeah, listen to what he said. He said, Alex, he says no side effects except all the ladies' boobs got bigger. That would be a great side effect. Can you imagine? Alex, if that was a real thing, if the shot made ladies' boobs get bigger, there would be no anti-vaxxers. Because every dude would want the women to get the shots, and every woman would want to get the shots so their boobs would get bigger. So there would be no anti-vaxxers left. all the flat earthers.
Maybe that's the cure this whole time, man.
Everybody who's out there like, oh, I don't know, this is a big conspiracy. If it made the boobies bigger, then everyone would unite behind the vaccines. Like there would be no more dissension whatsoever. That is too funny. That is too funny. Oh, man. And Bromar Smelly comments on Justin Fields. The Bilderberg Group is currently in a meeting discussing what to do with Justin Fields. I'm telling you, the Bilderberg Group, the Freemasons, the Illuminati, all the secret societies, the what is it called? Something Grove. I can't remember. I remember like years ago, Bohemian Grove, I think is what it is. Alex Jones, like he like snuck into Bohemian Grove where they were doing like satanic rituals, all the rich people. Like there's definitely something there. Like there is definitely something there with all the billionaires. They get together and they have like these ritual sacrifices and they like feed off of power. And there's definitely something going on there. And I think that they have harnessed their power into creating fake narratives about Justin Fields. There's something weird going on there. 844-416-8123. Ooh, I want to tackle this on the other side. So there's a topic in the chat group right now on the best hockey movie of all time. Ooh, I love me some hockey movies. I will weigh in on that when we return here on OnSide Radio. Hey, every Saturday at 11 a.m., soccer fans can connect with our pal Austin Robillard and Red Card Radio. From the Premiership to the MLS, you can catch up with your favorite team, including our very own Inter Miami CF. Listen to Red Card Radio every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with Austin Robillard, exclusively at OnSideRadio.com.
We'll be right back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dano. You can join us on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623. You can now watch OnSide Radio daily by subscribing to our YouTube and Twitch channels. Search OnSide Radio. Log on, subscribe, rate, and review OnSide Radio on YouTube and Twitch. Find out why Big O has a face for radio. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's home for real sports talk.
Inter Miami CF, your official furniture and mattress store, is here. City Furniture is your #1 home source for the trends you want at the prices you'll love, including exclusive City Furniture collections, the widest selection of styles, affordable home accents, mattresses starting at just $99 and more. Create the home of your dreams fast with next-day delivery, plus get 60 months special financing with no down payment. Because City Furniture is here to make it easy so everyone can live life like this, visit cityfurniture.com.
I'm Ryan Seacrest. First responders are people who stand for a greater purpose. They will be there for you when nobody else is, to help you, your family, your community. This is their selfless promise. This is their sworn duty, to protect, to serve, to help. They put themselves in harm's way for us. They come to the rescue at times when we need them most. First responders are making enormous personal sacrifices to keep showing up for us and fighting the good fight. Nearly 70% of all firefighters are volunteers. That means when they get injured or quarantined, they may not have a way to pay their rent or keep their family safe and fed. No matter who you are or where you live, when you call 911 and ask for help, first responders show up. Now, let's show up for the people who show up for us every day and every night.
Go to firstrcf.org and make a difference today.
You're listening to the station with more live and local sports talk than anyone else in South Florida. OnSideRadio.com. Broadcasting from South Florida to the world. You're listening to OnSideRadio.com. Catch up anytime by downloading the MyTuner Radio app. OnSideRadio.com, South Florida's true hometown station. Welcome back to the Man of the Match with Alex Dono. Check this out. You can reach out anytime on the OnSide Sports Line, 888-441-4623. That's 888-441-4623.
Yeah, welcome back into Man of the Match on OnSide Radio. Herman said Bobrovsky was vaccinated with the Sputnik. That's actually, I don't know if you were making a joke there, but that's actually the name of the Russian vaccine. They actually call it Sputnik. They named it after the first object that they put into space, the Sputnik satellite. I think it was 1959, I want to say, is when they launched Sputnik into orbit. I wasn't around at 59. But I've read historical accounts of it. And when they launched Sputnik, and all Sputnik did was just make beeping noises. Like, it didn't do anything. Like, it didn't have missiles attached to it. It didn't even have cameras attached to it. Like, Sputnik was basically just the Russians trying to see if they could actually put something up there in orbit, and they did. They succeeded. But apparently when they launched Sputnik, this is, Cold War was really heating up at this point, so to speak. And it, freaked people out because, oh, my God, they put something up there. Is Sputnik watching us? Is Sputnik weaponized? That was, a big deal because it was an arms race between the United States and the USSR, and they put the first object up there. They beat us to that. We beat their asses to the moon, but they beat us to putting something up in space, and everybody was freaking out. What does Sputnik do? But yeah, Sputnik is actually the name of the Russian vaccine, and from what I've heard, it actually works pretty well. I don't think it's up there with Pfizer or Moderna. God bless America, we kicked their asses in that. But I heard the Sputnik is not terrible. I have the Sputnik. Yes, so wonderful. I take a vaccine. I take the Russian Sputnik. It is so good. It's wonderful. So Herman asked best hockey movie. I've got to go with what really resonates with my childhood. I think for me, it's a tie between the first two Mighty Ducks. The Mighty Ducks series does not happen without the original. And I was like the perfect age when that came out. I want to say I was I don't exactly remember which year it came out, but I think I was 8 when the original Mighty Ducks movie came out, and I loved it. I watched it 100 times. And then the second one was so good because you had them competing against other countries. The second one was the Junior Goodwill Games, and they had the big feud with Iceland. That was culminated. Gunnar Stahl and Iceland, that was the big rivalry. That was a great film. I love the scene where they had the country kid from Texas who had the rodeo guy who had he did the lassos, and they're the Junior Goodwill Games were in Los Angeles, and the kids are they go to Rodeo Drive to go shopping, and he's oh, what, this is Rodeo Drive? We're on Rodeo Drive. It's a good movie. So those films, the first two Mighty Ducks, those really defined my childhood. I think they came out when I was in 3rd grade and 5th grade, something like that. So I loved it. I don't know if I ever would have been a hockey fan without those films, if we're being honest, because I think the original Mighty Ducks came out a year before the Panthers franchise was launched. And I can remember, guys, when the Florida Panthers came into existence, when they started playing in 1993, I was so excited to get a hockey team down here because I loved the Mighty Ducks. I was yes, Gordon Bombay, the Mighty Ducks movie. Now we're getting our own hockey team in South Florida. This is so cool. So I don't think I ever would have been a hockey fan if not for those films. Gordon Bombay, greatest coach of all time. You know what's a crazy plot hole? Alex, have you seen the Mighty Ducks, the first one?
Yeah, I have.
You know what's so wild about it? So Gordon Bombay gets pulled over for DUI. And then the way the court punishes him for DUI is they make him coach a children's hockey team. Isn't that a little bit ridiculous? This guy is guilty.
Are you kidding me? I got to coach these damn kids.
This guy, he's an arrogant for children. We're going to have him coach a youth hockey team. It makes no sense to me. It's let's find the worst guy possible and have him coach children playing hockey. It really makes no sense that would be his punishment for a DUI. But it worked out. right? Because Gordon learned from the children learned from him, and it was like the greatest success story of all time. He rediscovered his love for hockey, because you remember Coach Bombay, he played for the Hawks when he was a child, and he had that awesome